Game number 23 for the Hyannis Arborhawks comes in the friendly confines of McKeon Park. Tonight, the Wareham Gateman come to Hyannis, and the battle for the top of the Cape's Western Division heats up on Judy Walden Scarafile Field. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Lucey. First pitch between the first place Gateman at 14-9, 28 points. Take in and the second place Hyannis Arborhawks at 12-8-2, 26 points is at 6 p.m. here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. I'll be taking you through pregame coverage up until Lyle, Goldstein, and Robert Marcello take the helm for the play-by-play. We have plenty to take you through before then, though. We have highlights from yesterday's game against Katuitt. Dani Terzer brings us an interview with reliever Riley Self and will also join us in the booth, while Lyle, Goldstein, and I close out the show with a little quick crash course on the Wareham Gateman and what you can expect from the Wareham Ball Club today. The Gatemen send Cade Cavalli to the bump to start this game off against the Arborhawks' Gavin Hollowell. And like I mentioned, plenty to look forward to on the pregame show, but first, we'll cast a look back at yesterday. Hyannis met Katuitt for Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. The two Barnstable ball clubs entered the game tied at a game apiece in the series, and only one team could leave the diamond with the lead. Unfortunately for Hyannis fans, the Hawks didn't get off to a great start, and things spiraled downward from there. Let's listen to the highlights of that call from Robert Marcello and myself, courtesy of the Hyannis Arborhawks on SoundCloud.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome here to Lowell Park. Here in Katuitt, I am Robert Marcello, alongside Chris Lucey, as we have today the third game of the Patriot League Cup. The Hyannis Arborhawks are on the road against the Katuitt Kettleers. 2-2 pitch. That is a laser that gets past the shortstop and the third baseman. It'll be 1-0 Katuitt. Here is that error plays costly. 1-1 pitch. That is a laser out to center field. That is gone. See you later, Thomas Dillard. The Katuitt Kettleers are now up 4-0. Fowler leaving that pitch right up high in the zone. Dillard taking advantage of it. That is a laser out to left field. And that will be gone. Home run. Davis Wenzel with a laser out in the gap. The left fielder unable to catch it, and it is now 6-1. Wenzel with a solo shot.
1-0. Hacked on and roped out into the right center field gap. Ellis and Robertson converging on the ball, and it bounces over the wall out in right center field for a ground rule double. That sends Will Holland in to score, and that cuts the Katuitt lead to 6. It is 8-2 Katuitt here at Lowell Park on the 2-out double from Davis Wenzel here at the bottom of the 7th. Hacked on and crushed high into the night sky here at Lowell Park, but right to the center fielder Ellis. And the Texas Longhorn closes his glove on the final out of an 8-3 win for the Katuitt Kettleers as the Barnstable Ball Club pours out onto the field from their dugout. Everybody giving fist bumps and high fives. And Hyannis with 9 hits and 2 errors. Highlights courtesy of the Hyannis Arborhawks on SoundCloud. Robert Marcello was on your first half call there, and then yours truly, Chris Lucey, was on the second half call. I had the pleasure of being that second half play-by-play man yesterday, but today I bring you through the pregame coverage here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. Less than 20 minutes to go before first pitch between the two top ball clubs in the Western Division out here on the Cape, in the Wareham Gateman in first place and the Hyannis Arborhawks just behind them in second place. And yesterday I mentioned it was a tough 8-3 loss in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series against Katuitt. The Kettleers pull ahead 2-1 in the series with the win. But a bright spot in the defeat was a solid debut from Mississippi State's Riley Self. The righty threw a scoreless 7th after racking up 60 strikeouts in 48 innings of work for the Bulldogs this season. Fresh off the boat from the program's 10th appearance in the College World Series, Self was dominant for Hyannis, and today he had a word with field reporter Dani Terzer. Let's listen in on their conversation, courtesy of the Hyannis Arborhawks on Twitter.
I'm here with Riley Self. Riley, you pitched a 1-2-3 inning in last night's loss against Katuitt, so we only got to see a glimpse of you, but what can we expect in your next few appearances?
Just the same thing, keeping the ball down, pounding the strike zone, just mostly let my defense work.
Your college season went really well. Mississippi State went to the College World Series. How can you build on that success and excitement while you're here?
Just carrying the work I put in for the season and playing here and working on certain pitches and getting better for next year.
And your teammate Keegan James is here as well. What's it like to experience this with him?
It's awesome always knowing somebody coming into this and having a friend to hang out with and get to know other people with and experience this with to carry on into school ball.
And of course, Coach Polk, longtime head coach at Mississippi State. Have you been able to have a relationship with him here yet?
Yeah, we talked a little bit before I came. I know him. He's came to Mississippi State a couple times. We've talked, but grew up going to camps with him, so it's kind of cool being here and playing for him.
Thanks, Riley.
Thank you.
That was Hyannis Arborhawks sideline reporter Dani Terzer along with Riley Self after a solid Cape League debut yesterday, an 8-3 loss to Katuitt, but a 1-2-3 seventh inning for the right-hander out of Mississippi State. You can listen to that full interview and more on our Twitter page. Just follow the Hyannis Arborhawks at Harborhawks, the handle. Okay, first pitch between Hyannis and Wareham is less than 20 minutes away here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucey, anchoring pregame coverage here from the broadcast booth, where now field reporter Dani Terzer joins me. Dani, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Chris. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, Dani, yesterday, like I mentioned, a tough 8-3 loss for the Harborhawks to the Crosstown Kettleers. What was the attitude like in the dugout after?
Well, I've always said that they have a pretty good attitude throughout each game in the dugout, and I think one of this team's biggest strengths is being able to come in with a clean slate every day, forget about the past, and work on what they know they can do, because we've seen them play pretty well. But I did see a little bit of frustration. One person in particular, Zach Cohn, he had to go in a tough situation there in last night's game. So I think, that's something that they just need to work through and pick their heads up for the next day and get out there with a clean slate.
Well, we're 23 games into a 44-game season, so definitely not always going to be a bed of roses. And yesterday was a tough day for the Harborhawks starting rotation in particular. Jordan Fowler gave up 6 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings of work. But then the back end of the Hawks bullpen came in and effectively shut the game down in the 8th and 9th. How much of a confidence boost does that back end of the bullpen contain for the Harborhawks?
Well, I think we've seen them do that a lot this season, and that's another one of this team's strengths, is that they can really close out some of these games really well. And from talking to a lot of them, they seem like they're guys that have really good work ethics, that are motivated, and they can come into a game, whether they're up or they're down, and do their thing and get the result that they want and help their team out in the best way possible.
Dani Terzer's in the booth with me, Chris Lucey. Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network pregame show rolling right through here. 15 minutes from first pitch between the first place Wareham Gateman and the second place Hyannis Arborhawks out here in the Western Division. Dani, I'll let you go after just one more question. You talk about the back end of the bullpen being a strength for Hyannis. Gavin Hollowell started off the season in the back end of the pen for Hyannis and since has transitioned to the mound. And you know just about as well as anybody else that Gavin is a bit of a trickster. He's photobombed more than a couple of your interviews, and usually he's pretty loose even on the days where he starts. What is it about his laid-back demeanor that you think has helped him become such an effective starter for Hyannis?
Well, I think it's, again, he's not thinking about the past. He's not letting his past games or any rocky starts or anything like that really affect him. He's going out there, and as much of a goof he is sometimes, he's serious when he's out there. He knows what he's got to do to help this team and to help him, and he's a pretty reliable guy for the Harborhawks out there.
And in 12 2/3 innings for Hyannis, he struck out 14, picked up a win, and has a 2.13 ERA. An absolutely solid campaign so far from Gavin Hollowell, and another great interview from Dani Terzer. Dani, thank you so much. I'll let you remove the headset and get back off to the sidelines where the ball club is waiting for you. Dani Terzer once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Lucey, leading you to a 6 o'clock first pitch here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network between Hyannis and Wareham. We're going to take a quick break now, but stick around. First half play-by-play man Lyle Goldstein joins me next for a preview of the Gateman, and then I'll take you around the league. Don't go anywhere. More baseball coming up on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network after this.
Magic Works Media copyright.
told you it'd only be a minute. We're back at it here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucey, anchoring the pregame coverage of Wareham versus Hyannis. The top of the Western Division squares off at the top of the hour, and the man on the call for the first pitch joins me right now. It's Lyle Goldstein. Lyle, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Chris. How about you?
I'm doing just fine, thanks. And Lyle, when you're looking at this Wareham Gateman Ball Club, as of course you have in the run-up to your play-by-play call today, a guy that just jumps off the page at you has to be Austin Shenton. He's been hitting above 400 all season for the Gateman, currently leading the Cape right now with a scorching .417 batting average. But outside of the obvious, what is it about him that really stands out to you?
Well, outside of the obvious, I mean, being the guy, like you just said, he's been the best hitter on the Cape this season, and by over 40 points or so, Matthew Barefoot coming in second. But what's the craziest thing to me about Austin Shenton is, I've talked about this before, this is a guy that just a year ago was playing community college baseball. He played at Bellevue College. It's actually about 10 minutes from where I'm from. Grew up in the Pacific Northwest, had an unbelievable year there in his 1 year community college ball, transfers to Florida International, and what does he do? More of the same. He absolutely tore it up down in Florida this season. He hit 344, 29 RBIs, 20 extra base hits, and then he comes up to the most prestigious collegiate summer league in the country, and what does he do again? You guessed it, more of the same. This kid just hits at the highest level at every level he's played at, and it has not stopped by any means so far here in Cape Cod.
Absolutely not. And Wareham has just been rolling throughout this season, first place in the Cape right now, and battling with Hyannis to maintain that spot today. Gavin Hollowell to the hill for the Harborhawks today, and the Gateman counter with Cade Cavalli. And we've seen Hollowell impress with a plus fastball this season, but what can Hawks fans expect from Cavalli today, Lyle?
I think for Cavalli, just the key for him is the durability factor. He's thrown 8 innings on the year. He only made 2 starts in his freshman year, which was this season at Oklahoma. And in Cavalli's last appearance, he went 4 innings, gave up 1 earned run. But we'll see how long the Gatemen want to stretch him out today. If they just go to that 4-inning formula again and then turn to their bullpen from here on out, or if they try to stretch Cade out a little bit. This is a guy, he's got a large frame, 6'5", 220. He's got some good stuff. It's just, again, going to be the duration and the stamina and how long he can keep that stuff going and keep these Harborhawks hitters off balance.
He's Lyle Goldstein. I'm Chris Lucey. Hyannis Arborhawks baseball coming at you in less than 10 minutes here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. Lyle, I'll let you get back to your prep after one last question. The Wareham Gatemen have a 15-plus run differential over the Harborhawks this year. They lead the season series 3-1. This has been a tough matchup for Hyannis this year. What is it about these Gatemen that give them such problems? Well,
I think you just said it. It's just their ability to swing the bats, and we've seen a couple of blowout losses for these Harborhawks in a couple of the games. You look at the first game they played out at Spillane Field on the road, and then the last time the Gatemen were here, 17-4. Bryant Packard hit an absolute missile. That entire lineup was just swinging the bats, and they were all on fire 1 through 9. So for Hyannis, it's as simple as you're going to have to keep them off the base paths. The pitchers are going to have to be efficient. Gavin's going to have to pound the zone, and then they're going to have to put up some runs of their own. They can't afford to leave a lot of runners on base like we've seen them do a handful of times this season, including against these very Gatemen.
Lyle Goldstein, ladies and gentlemen. Lyle, let you rip off the headset there and get ready for the call of the first pitch between Hyannis and the Gatemen, which is slated for 5:51 or for 6 here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. 5:51 the time right now. And time for a quick trip around the league before I bid you adieu. Over at Red Wilson Field out in Yarmouth Dennis, bottom of the 3rd inning, an Eastern Division matchup. Chatham leads Yarmouth Dennis 1-0. And then we go back over to the west here. The Bourne Braves lead the Falmouth Commodores down at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field 2-1. Going down to Eldridge Park now, another Eastern Division matchup between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Orleans Firebirds. Brewster looking to get their way out of the Eastern Division cellar against the 4th place Orleans Firebirds. They lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Over at White House Field, an interdivisional matchup between the Catuit Kettleers and the Harwich Mariners. Catuit gunning for their 2nd straight win. They lead 1-0 over Harwich. And then this game between the Harborhawks and the Wareham Gatemen about to get underway. Less than 10 minutes to go here on the Hyannis Arborhawks until first pitch between the 1st and 2nd place teams here in the Western Division in the Cape. That'll be all for my part of the broadcast. Just for now, you can catch me again in the top of the 4th inning with another Around the League update. You can hear me with post-game coverage after this game. And of course, I'll be anchoring our post-game YouTube show, Hawk Talk, which you can catch on our YouTube page, the Hyannis Arborhawks. And if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll get a push notification every time one of our broadcasts goes live. First pitch between Wareham and Hyannis coming at the top of the hour. Thank you for joining me here on pregame coverage. And the next voice you'll hear will be Lyle Goldstein's getting you ready for a crucial Western Division matchup. Enjoy, everybody.
Magic Works Media copyright. 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 Magic Works Media copyright.
Time for lineups and first pitch on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
From McKeon Park here in Hyannis, the second place Harborhawks return home looking to push their way back atop the Western Division as they take on their division rivals in first place, Wareham Gateman, who walloped Hyannis 17-4 in their previous contest. Tonight, the Harborhawks send Gavin Hollowell to the mound looking to pick up their second win of the year over Wareham. Harborhawks baseball starts right now. Hi, everybody. I'm Lyle Goldstein, joined alongside Robert Marcello here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. Rob, Hyannis dropped last night's contest to Katuitt, really struggling on all facets. How do they flush that and turn things around here tonight against a juggernaut like Wareham?
I think they definitely have to quickly turn the page, and also knowing that this game really is kind of for first place. You know, Wareham's been a pretty good club all year long, had the better of the Harborhawks. Today they got to change that.
And Wareham sending out most of their usuals tonight on the road against Gavin Hollowell, who toes the slab for the Harborhawks. Leading things off for the Gateman, Jeremy Idens, the UCLA product, playing center field. Sahid Valenzuela following him up, the shortstop out of CSU Fullerton. Austin Shenton, the hottest hitter on the Cape this summer, hitting third and playing third. Lyle Lockhart Jr. out of Houston doing the cleanup duties and playing first base. He'll be followed by Paven Parks in the number 5 spot out of Kent State, designated hitting. Jacob Goldfarb, fresh into his new uniform with the Wareham Gatemen, previously a Kettleer, hitting 6th. Luke Roskam hitting 7th and doing the catching out of Nebraska. As Gavin Hollowell's ready with the first pitch to Idens, he works from the wind. Fastball in there for called. Strike one, and we're underway. First pitch time, 5:59 p.m. Isaac Collins hitting 8th, the Creighton right fielder, and rounding out the 9, Oliver Dunn, the Utah second baseman. Idens wiggling that bat above his right shoulder. The pitch from Hollowell right on the outside corner for called strike 2, and Hollowell's quickly ahead of the leadoff hitter in Idens. Well, Idens knows this Hyannis pitching staff pretty well, to say the least, as he watches a called strike 3 right on the outside corner. A breaking ball from Gavin Hollowell fools the leadoff hitter, and there's one down in the top of the first.
Anytime you're a pitcher, you want to come out. The first out you want to get is a ground ball, or you want to get a strikeout. And he just did that. Great pitch there from Gavin Hollowell.
And I like to say it every time Idens is up, is he took the first pitch for a strike, and that's already better than one of the times the Harborhawks have seen the UCLA man this year, as he took the first pitch from Travis Marr a couple of weeks ago and sent it out over the left field fence. Back at Spillane Field as Sahid Valenzuela swings at the first pitch and sends a high fly ball down the left field line into foul ground. Matthew Barefoot giving chase, but can't quite catch up with it, as the CSU Fullerton product will get a new life at an 0-1 count.
Good effort there by Matthew Barefoot, being able to run that ball over. Kind of shady near that bullpen there, almost able to catch it.
So already a quick out for Hollowell in the top of the first. He's thrown 4 strikes in his first 4 pitches. And we know he's got some good stuff, a fastball that can sit in the low to mid-90s, as well as some stellar breaking stuff like you saw in that 0-2 pitch to Jeremy Idens. That lone home run from Idens coming back against the Harborhawks was his one on the summer so far, as Valenzuela's back into the left-handed side of the batter's box and takes a fastball down low. Well, Sahid Valenzuela hitting .404 in his Cape League campaign. That 2-3 punch in the order for the Wareham Gateman has been deadly. But Valenzuela swings and misses through a fastball from Hollowell, and he's got 2 strikes to him. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Austin Shenton waiting on deck, who plays his ball at FIU. As Hollowell's from the windup, kicks and fires the 1-2 pitch, swinging a chopper on a couple of hops to Davis Wenzel, charging in, throws on the run, and it's just in time to get the speedy Valenzuela for out number 2. So Wenzel coming in, fielding it glove side, read the ball well and quickly, and then makes a strong throw off his back foot to first, as it'll bring up Austin Shenton. The defense for Hyannis tonight, Seth Gray out of Wright State playing third base, Wenzel, the Baylor product at shortstop, Braden Como over at second from Rice, and Pedro Pages out of FAU at first base. Hollowell's first pitch to Austin Shenton is swung on and sent foul up and out of play along the left field line. From left to right, respectively, Matthew Barefoot out of Campbell, Eric Rivera, also from Florida Atlantic, and in right field, Todd Lott from Louisiana Lafayette. Kyle Wilkie behind the plate doing the catching tonight. He plays his ball at Clemson. And, of course, Hollowell, your starting pitcher, the right-hander out of St. John's. Is 0-1 to Austin Shenton. Inside, brushes him off the plate a little bit as the count moves to even. Well, Shenton comes into the day hitting .417. That leads the entire Cape League, followed by Matthew Barefoot out in left field for the Harbor Hawks. Breaking ball from Hollowell in there for strike two, and Austin Shenton behind in the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hollowell looking to pick up his second strikeout and have a clean first inning. Shakes off one sign from Wilkie, now gets one he likes. Kicks and fires the 1-2. Fastball runs just outside as count moves to even. Well, Shenton having a better season up on the Cape than he even did at Florida International. He hit .344 as opposed to the .417 up here in Cape Cod. The 2-2, swinging a ground ball foul just to the right of the first base line. Gavin Hollowell on his Cape League summer. He's 1-0 with a .213 ERA in 12 2/3 innings pitched coming into this start. Hasn't let up multiple runs in a single one of his 4 appearances this summer. Shenton wiggling his bat above his left shoulder. Now the pitch from Hollowell. Fastball just away. Count is now full. 3-2 to Shenton. Fairly quiet night here at McKeon Park. Scattered clouds throughout the sky. A couple of birds flying over. Not much of a wind here yet. Hollowell giving a long look at the hitter in Shenton as time is called. Shenton will quickly step out of the box. Kicks the dirt a little bit with his feet. Taps the head of the bat to his back cleat, and now he's back in. Everybody playing straight up. The payoff pitch from Gavin Hollowell, swinging a high chopper over to third. Seth Gray fields it on a hop, throws across the diamond, and that's in time for a 1-2-3 inning. Gavin Hollowell, 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first, off to a good start against the first place Wareham Gateman. We'll be back right after this for Hyannis' first ups on offense when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Robert Marcello.
Welcome back inside McKeon Park. Hyannis due up on offense here in the bottom half of the first after a clean first frame from Gavin Hollowell. The right-hander for the Wareham Gateman and Cade Cavalli, an Oklahoma product, plays his baseball out in Norman for the Sooners, making his 4th appearance here on his Cape League summer. His last start, that came a week ago on July 1st against the YD Red Sox. Went 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run on 2 hits, 3 walks, and a trio of strikeouts. First hitter he'll see is Baylor product Davis Wenzel, who takes a fastball up high. Wenzel had 2 hits yesterday, including a home run and a double. That was his first long ball of the season. Cade Cavalli gets his sign, works from the windup, and the right-hander kicks and fires with another fastball, missing low and away. Rest of the Harbor Hawks order, Braden Como hitting second out of Rice, followed by Matthew Barefoot from Campbell. Pedro Pages in the cleanup spot, followed by Seth Gray out of Wright State. He made the final out of the first inning. As Cavalli's 2-0 pitch to Davis Wenzel is taken for a strike, and the count is now 2-1. Todd Lott hitting 6th out of Louisiana Lafayette, followed by Kyle Wilkie from Clemson. Will Holland doing the DHing tonight, making his 2nd start of the summer. 2-1 to Wenzel, fastball high and in, 3-1 the count. And then finally rounding out the 9 for the Harbor Hawks, Eric Rivera, playing center field and plays his college ball at Florida Atlantic. So Davis Wenzel, after yesterday's game, comes into today hitting .250 as that 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike right on the inner half of the plate. And Cavalli finds himself in a full count to the leadoff man. Works from the set, gets his sign from the catcher Luke Roscom. The 3-2 swing and a miss at a fastball just above the letters for strike 3. Davis Wenzel punches out, and Cavalli records his first strikeout of the night.
Just the same as the top of the first happened in the bottom of the first, back-to-back strikeout.
Much like Cavalli's counterpart in Gavin Hollowell, records a leadoff strikeout. The Gateman defense tonight, Austin Shenton at third, Sahid Valenzuela at short, Oliver Dunn out of Utah at second, and Lyle Lockhart Jr. from Houston playing first base. First pitch to Braden Como is taken up high for ball 1 on a fastball. And from left to right for the Wareham Gateman, Jacob Goldfarb from Oregon, Jeremy Idens from UCLA, and Isaac Collins playing right field, who plays his college ball over at Creighton. And the battery tonight, Luke Roscom from Nebraska behind the plate, and then Cade Cavalli, your starting pitcher. 1-0 to Braden Como is a fastball down low. 2 balls and no strikes. So much like the 2-3 punch of the Gateman, Hyannis has a little 2-3 punch of their own in the batting order as Como's hitting .338 as we speak. So that fastball's taken up high. 3 balls, no strikes to the number 2 hitter in the Hyannis order. Como's got 7 RBIs on the year, but nobody on base. The 3-0's a strike right at the knees. Tony Letizia behind the plate tonight. Infield playing straight up. The 3-1 to Como. Fastball runs inside for ball 4. Como jogs down to first. The first man is aboard for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the first with a 1-out walk.
Good patience there by Como, being able to work the count, being able to get a walk. They're trying to get this trend going for the Harbor Hawks early, trying to get up early in the game.
Well, they've got a man on. The key is going to be to drive him in, and we've seen it happen time and time again, especially against these Gatemen. When they played their home and home in back-to-back days just a couple of weeks back, as the first pitch to Matthew Barefoot is inside for a ball. Luke Roscom calls time and heads out to the mound to have a quick conference with the starting pitcher and Cade Cavalli. But back to what I was saying, Rob, about the home and home between these Harbor Hawks and the Gatemen, is Hyannis left 29 men on base between those 2 games. It was 15 in the first game and 14 in the second. Their key tonight, again, is they're going to have to capitalize when opportunities are handed to them. Not just with the 2-out hitting, but more so when there's less than 2 outs and they have opportunities to put ground balls to the right side or produce a couple of sacrifice flies. Cavalli throws over to first, back to the bag safely on the dive is Como. No tag applied by Lyle Lockhart, holding him on. Matthew Barefoot sits with a 1-0 count, comes into the day 24 for 64. Now the pitch, up high and inside. Cavalli really struggling to pound the zone here, not commanding his fastball to the pinpoint here in the early going as time is called again, and now the Wareham Gateman pitching coach out to have a word. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Cavalli only 2 starts in his freshman season at Oklahoma, which he just wrapped up in 2018. Through 17 and a third innings pitched and walked 13 guys, so free passes have been a little bit of a struggle for him so far in his young collegiate career. Now, Cavalli can also swing the bat a little bit, but in fact, he was the man that was punched out by Braden Como back in that first game at Spillane Field. It was the first time of the year that the Harbor Hawks and Gateman squared off. And Como got him looking with a breaking ball. As the Rice product stands at first, the pitch to the hitter in Matthew Barefoot's taken for a strike down low, right at the bottom of the zone. From the set is the right-hander in Cade Cavalli, checks the runner at first, sets right at the letters, pitch to Barefoot, called strike, and now the count is 2-2. Cavalli showed his breaking stuff there, and he hit right on the outer half of the plate. A little bit of the shade from the trees shading over the left field side, as it does on most 6 p.m. starts here at McKeon Park, as a breaking ball misses away on the other side of the batter's box. Cavalli finds himself in his second full count of the inning. 3-2 to the hitter in Barefoot. Como a short lead at first. The 3-2 from Cavalli inside for ball 4 and back-to-back walks for the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the first. Como moves down to second, Barefoot at first, and upcoming is the cleanup hitter in FAU product Pedro Pages.
Definitely back-to-back walks here. Now Pedro Pages got to drive these guys in. Harbor Hawks going to have to go an early lead today if they want to win this game.
So Matthew Barefoot draws his 10th walk of the summer. That's second on the team to Davis Wenzel, who has 16. How about that? Talk about a leadoff hitter doing their job. But surprisingly, the 2 of the 3 men faced so far in this first inning for the Harbor Hawks, Wenzel, the lone man who didn't walk. He struck out swinging to Cavalli as Pages takes a first pitch low and away for ball 1. Shifted over to his right now a little bit is Oliver Dunn, the second baseman. Playing up the middle of the Pages, also giving Como some attention, who's got his lead at second. Lockhart behind the runner in Barefoot at first. Fastball in there for strike 1 to Pages. 1-1 the count. Pedro's 16 for 61 on the summer. Has 1 home run. That came on an opposite field shot here at McKeon Park. Also 7 runs batted in. Now the pitch from Cavalli, swinging a high fly ball into short right field, coming in a couple of steps and off to his left is Collins. He settles under it to make the catch, and the Harbor Hawks record their first out of the inning.
Seth Gray now up to bat. The last game that I called, he had a big 2-out double down the line.
Well, what you're referencing, if I'm remembering right, Rob, that was just this previous week, or just a few days ago, I should say, against the Bourne Braves.
Yep.
Game was deadlocked at 4-4. Seth Gray comes up in the 8th inning and ropes an RBI double out into right center. Almost got out of here, but it was the deciding factor in that game between the Braves and the Harbor Hawks. It was the game-winning hit. And Seth has a chance to put the Harbor Hawks up on the board early here against the Gateman, but watches a fastball low and inside for ball 1. Luke Roscombe picks it out of the dirt. Seth hitting .313 on the summer, although he didn't record a hit in yesterday's ball game. Was 0 for 3 in that contest. Swings at that one and sends a high pop-up over on the third base side into foul ground. Austin Shenton giving it a look, but sails just out of play beyond the fence on the third base side and hops back in, as Gray now finds himself with a 1-1 count. Well, Seth Gray in his season at Wright State hit .267, only 3 long balls, but 54 hits and 20 for extra bases. We've seen Seth hit his fair share of doubles so far on the summer. He was 3rd on the Wright State Ball Club in doubles in 2018. Now the pitch from Cavalli gets away from the catcher in Roscom. Runners moving up 90 feet each. Como down to third, Barefoot down to second, and now the Harbor Hawks are in business. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
Definitely a big play or big mistake by the Wareham Gateman catcher, letting that ball get past him. Now Seth Gray has a chance to get 2 RBIs just with a single.
That'll likely be scored a wild pitch. As that ball was in the dirt, Roscom had to extend his glove out across his body and couldn't quite corral that ball. As now there's 2 men in scoring position. The next pitch to Seth Gray, fastball high. Roscom had to jump up for that one and stop it from getting to the backstop again. So Seth Gray's got 2 doubles here on the Cape League summer. Infield playing back on the number 5 hitter for the Harbor Hawks as he swings and misses through a high fastball. Gray steps out of the box for a minute. The left-handed hitter adjusts his helmet, wipes his forehead, and now steps back in. He's in a 3-2 count here. 2 outs here for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the first. That one hits Seth Gray right on the arm, and he trots down to first. But it looks like the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio, is going to bring him back, as he's going to say it hit off the knob of his bat, and it was a foul ball. To be honest, it sounded like it hit the bat from up here, but Gray's trying to make his case and plead his testament to the home plate umpire and Letizio, and now the umpires are going to gather around for a meeting. What do you think, Rob? It sounded like from up here it hit his bat, but I'm not sure.
It had a very weird noise. It didn't really sound like that it hit him, or it sounded like it hit something else. Probably maybe his bat could have also just hit his kind of funny bone on his elbow there. It could have potentially hit there as well. Not really sure. Seth Gray just in a little pain, but I'm sure he'll be all right. I'm really not sure what the call really was.
And they're going to bring him back. Umpire and crew concludes that it hit his bat, and they'll call it a foul ball. Letizio now explaining the reasoning to head coach Chad Gassman, who's doing the third base coaching. Well, Seth Gray, I'll say this. If that did hit his bone, that didn't sound good from up here.
No, it did not.
I think it did hit the knob of his bat. I think he just tried to do a good job selling it.
A sell job, yes.
And he did it to the best of his ability for sure. He jogged right down to first and at least acted like it hit him on the elbow. But nevertheless, he's back into the box. 3-2 count, 2 runners on, 2 outs in the bottom of the first, still a 0-0 ball game. Now the pitch, fastball up high, so Seth Gray draws a free pass anyway and jogs down to first to load the bases for the Louisiana Lafayette man and Todd Lott.
All 3 guys that are on base right now didn't even get a base hit. They've all been walked. Already 3 walks from the day.
And Cavalli definitely struggling with his command, to say the least. He's got 12 walks to his name on the year. Came into the day with 9 in just 8 innings pitched, along with 9 strikeouts. And often with guys that have really good stuff, you'll see that from him is the control and command can be a little bit of an issue for him, as Cavalli's struggling with here in the first. As Todd Lott takes a pitch for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Lott, who's got 5 home runs on the summer. Sporting a .300 average along with 9 RBIs. Looking to add on to that RBI total here with the bases loaded in the bottom of the first as he swings and sends a high fly ball down the right field line. Lyle Lockhart chasing back toward it, tries to make an over-the-shoulder catch, but fails to do so, and Todd Lott gains a new life.
Having the bullpens really in the field of play, Lyle, definitely adds a different element for sure. The Wareham Gatemen already are starting to get action in their bullpen.
Man is warming up for Wareham. But you mentioned it. Once you get off that grass and start to feel the gravel that's here along the confines of McKeon Park, you kind of have to watch for the mound too, as if you hit that mound and go toward that uphill route, that's definitely something that's going to throw you off. Lockhart didn't quite get there, but it's definitely an element of surprise. Play back on hand now. The pitch to Todd Lott. Checks his swing, taken in the dirt. Appeals down to first, but Jeff Kinney, the first base umpire, says he does not go around. So Lott sits with a 1-2 count. Todd didn't play in yesterday's game. And in that contest, Harbor Hawks dropped that one to the Katuitt Kettleers. That was a final score of 8-3 at Lowell Park last night. 0-0. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the first. The pitch to Lott, swinging a ground ball to the right side. Off the glove of Lyle Lockhart, fielded by Dunn, and everybody's safe. Como scores from third. Barefoot now in a pickle. A rundown, throw back to Shenton just in time to nab Barefoot for out number 3, but not before an RBI single from Todd Lott will plate the first run of the day for the Harbor Hawks. They lead 1-0 at the end of the first, and we'll be back for the top of the second right after this on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Four, 5, 6 due up for the Wareham Gateman in the top of the second. Gavin Hollowell back on the mound for the Harbor Hawks after recording a perfect first frame. 1, 2, 3 innings of the top third of the Gateman order. As the cleanup hitter for Wareham and Lyle Lockhart Jr., the Houston first baseman, digs into the left side. First pitch from Hollowell runs out and low for ball 1.
Hollowell trying to reiterate kind of what pitcher from yesterday did, but he got in trouble in the second inning.
Pitch to Lockhart, swinging a fly ball on the left side into foul ground. Seth Gray giving a look, but watches it sail out of play and into the crowd. So 1-1 to Lockhart. Gavin Hollowell struck out 1 in that first inning. That was Jeremy Idens to lead off the game on a looking strikeout. And Hollowell, with his good stuff, has definitely been a strikeout machine this season. He's got 14 punch-outs in 12 2/3 innings. As the pitch to Lockhart is a ground ball to the left side. Davis Wenzel fields it short on the backhand, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. Wenzel's second put out of the night, this time on a backhand. Didn't have to move as far, just a couple of steps over to his right. Backhanded it cleanly and a strong throw to Pages.
Hollowell very similar to Fowler yesterday, working very quickly, trying to get these guys out.
And Gavin Hollowell, his strikeout total on the summer comes in at 6th on the team. Of course, he's thrown less innings than a handful of the other guys. They're already ahead of him as his first pitch breaking ball is a called strike on the inside corner to Paven Parks. So we'll see where that strikeout total comes out to at the end of the night, because he came into the day with 14. With that punch out to Idens, he's at 15 as a heater runs inside and brushes the hitter and Parks off the plate. So he came into the day 6th on the team. Now he's tied for 5th with McDonald as a line drive comes right back to the mound, and Hollowell knocks it down and fields it cleanly. Underhands over to first after taking a couple steps to his left and in, and that'll be out number 2. So Hollowell ready for that one. Parks hit a line drive right back at the mound, and he did everything he could. Couldn't quite snag it on the fly, but knocking it down is the second best thing you can do because he kept it right in his vicinity and had an easy flip over to first.
He definitely did. And if he lets that get past him, that's a base hit really right up the middle. Great job there by Hollowell being able to stop that ball.
First 5 Gateman hitters retired as Jacob Goldfarb steps to the plate. Oregon product. Hollowell working from the windup. The first pitch, low and away for ball 1. Now, Jacob Goldfarb started his summer with the Cotuit Kettleers and played just under half the season there. He swings at the next pitch and sends it foul behind home plate and off the bricks. But Cotuit let him go just a couple of days ago, and less than 24 hours later, Gateman picked him up. And
Very
he's
similar
here
to our Kyle Kemp as well.
Very similar.
Yep, very similar.
Kemp played with Cotuit to start the summer and then was picked up by Hyannis. Hollowell's 1-1 as a breaking ball low and in. Goldfarb, a Scottsdale, Arizona native, played his ball at Desert Mountain High School. He had a good year at Oregon, too. 308, 6 homers, 29 runs batted in as he swings and sends one way foul down the right field line and well into the bushes beyond McKeon Park. So Goldfarb hit .217 in 2016, redshirted in his 2017 campaign due to an injury, then came up with a monster 2018 season along with 28 extra base hits as that breaking ball from Gavin Hollowell is a called strike 3. Second strikeout of the night for the St. John's right-hander. 6 up, 6 down through the first 2 innings for Gavin Hollowell and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as they'll come up in the bottom of the second with a 1-0 lead. 1-0 Hyannis your score. We'll be back right after this on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein.
Seven, 8, 9 due up for Hyannis in the bottom of the second. Second inning on the mound for right-hander Cade Cavalli out of Oklahoma. He works from the wind, and his first pitch to Kyle Wilkie is swung on and missed for strike 1. Kyle Wilkie plays his college ball at Clemson University. Comes into the day hitting .294, but how about this? .444 when hitting in the leadoff spot, also known as to lead off an inning as he takes a ball down low on an off-speed pitch from Cavalli. Count moves to 1-1. So 4 for 9 when leading off innings for Hyannis. Gets his sign as Cavalli from Roscom comes home and misses low, 2-1 the count. Well, Wilkie led Clemson in batting average this season as he swings in that pitch and sends it foul off the netting behind home plate. Third team All-ACC honoree in 2018, as he was part of a Clemson team that went 47-16 on the year, but lost in their own regional as a number 1 seed to Vanderbilt. 2-2 pitch from Cade Cavalli misses down as the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. But Wilkie has swung a solid bat for Hyannis this summer, as we mentioned, especially from that leadoff spot, as the 3-2 pitch misses up and in for ball 4. Fourth walk issued already for Cavalli as Wilkie's on at first with nobody out. Leadoff man aboard for the Harbor Hawks.
Cavalli's definitely struggling out of the gate here. Only let up 1 run in the first inning. Luckily for him, because that could have just completely blown up on him.
Will Holland, the man out of Auburn, stepping into the right-handed side of the box. This is his first at bat at McKeon Park this season. Came in for a pinch hit against the Whitey Red Sox at Red Wilson Field, where he struck out. Went hitless yesterday out at Lowell Park against the Kettleers, and he's making his second start of this summer for him. First pitch, breaking ball from Cavalli on the outer half for strike 1. We've seen Cavalli thrown a solid amount of first pitch strikes already, but it's been in the later parts of the count where he's finished to struggle as Holland swings through another off-speed pitch, and the count is quickly 0-2. Well, Holland still looking for his first hit as a Harbor Hawk. Spent some time with Team USA this summer as the throw over to first on the pickoff move from Cavalli gets Wilkie back to the bag safely. Holland second on Auburn in average this season as he swings and sends one foul up and out of play along the right side. And he was an absolute catalyst at the top third of that order for the Auburn Tigers this season. Of course, that team was highlighted by Casey Mize, right-handed pitcher who went number 1 overall in this year's MLB draft to the Detroit Tigers. But Holland on offense led Auburn in runs scored, slugging percentage, and was second on the team in hits. He's got himself an 0-2 count with Wilkie at first. Pitch from Cavalli down in the dirt, chested up by the catcher in Roscam, and Wilkie's held true at first base, comes back to the bag. So Holland steps out of the box, 1 foot out, half of his right foot right on that end line of the right-handed side of the batter's box. Now makes his way back in, throws his bat out to the mound a couple of times, now sits on his shoulder. 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball right to the first baseman Lockhart, steps on the bag to 1, throw over to second, tag applied in time by Valenzuela for a double play. Score that 6-3 as Lyle Lockhart backhanded a ball right on the line, stepped on first and threw it to second on a dart. Valenzuela recognizing the situation and quickly putting down a tag on Wilkie as there's quickly 2 out for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the second.
Just as we thought they were going to continue to add more runs, it completely just shuts down with that ground ball.
A tough break for Holland as Lockhart was playing right on the line at first base, holding on the runner, as Eric Rivera swings right through a first pitch fastball for strike 1, just above the letters. As Lyle Lockhart, the Houston first baseman, back out to his normal spot at first base, probably about 15 feet off the line or so. Rivera wiggling that bat behind his right shoulder. Cavalli's pitch misses down. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Rivera's hitting .205 on the summer. Cavalli working from the windup now. Next pitch to Rivera, off speed, down low for ball 2. Eric Rivera 9 for 44. Although he's produced a hit in every other game he's appeared in since the start of June 26th as he takes another one low and outside. Didn't get a hit yesterday in his lone plate appearance against the Kettleers when he came in for a pinch hit. But then on July 3rd, he recorded hits in back-to-back games against Bourne and Yarmouth Dennis. As that pitch misses low from Cavalli, ball 4. Eric Rivera trots down to first, and now already 5 walks for the Oklahoma right-hander through the first inning and 2/3.
Continuing to struggle out there, just really having a hard time finding his really kind of zone there. He only has 1 K on the day, and that is to Davis Wenzel.
And Cavalli's received some help from his defense so far, to say the least. 3-6 double play in the previous hitter, as Cade Cavalli steps off and throws over to first. Rivera's back safely. But that was Holland who grounded into the 3-6 double play. Then in the first inning, Matthew Barefoot got caught on a rundown between third and home for the 3rd out. Cavalli from the set. Pitch to Davis Wenzel is taken for a strike right at the bottom of the zone. So the Harbor Hawks already turning over their order. Wenzel making his 2nd plate appearance on the day, 2nd in as many innings. 2 outs and 1 on. Cavalli steps off again and throws over to first. Not in time. Rivera on the dive gets his left hand right onto the backhand side of that first base bag. Wenzel 0 for 1, struck out swinging to lead off the bottom of the first. 18 hits on the summer. Baylor product with a very tight stance. Pitch outside for a ball. Back pick by Roscom to first is not in time. Rivera's back safely. The Davis Wenzel, a very compact stance in that batter's box. A lot of hitters will have their feet with shoulder width apart, but Wenzel, those 2 feet very, very close together, wiggling that left foot. Breaking ball from Cavalli, called strike by home plate umpire Tony Letizio. So Wenzel sits at a 1-2 count. Rivera 3-step lead over at first, being held on by Lockhart. Cavalli throws over again, and back safely is Rivera. No dive this time. Lockhart swept the tag, but umpire Jeff Kinney said he's in there safely. Middle infielders playing up the middle. A gaping hole on that right side of the infield as Rivera takes off to second, but Wenzel swings right through it for strike 3. A foul tip back into the glove of Luke Roscam, and that'll do it for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the 2nd. They get 2 on via the free pass on base on balls, but a 3-6 double play and a strikeout ended those threats in no time. 1-0 score in favor of the Harbor Hawks through 2 innings. We'll be back for the 3rd right after this on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Nebraska catcher Luke Roscam up into the box, digging into the left-hander's side for the Wareham Gateman to start the top of the 3rd inning. Gavin Hollowell back on the mound. It'll be inning number 3 for the right-hander out of St. John's. So far, he's faced 6 hitters and retired all of them. 2 strikeouts and 4 ground ball outs. Roscam, a switch-hitting catcher, digs into the left-handed side, holding that bat right at the head level. First pitch from Hollowell misses down for ball 1. Luke Roscam comes into the day 8 for 31, sporting a .258 average. The 1-0 from Hollowell, swinging a ground ball foul down the right field line. So 1-0 Hyannis the score in the top of the third. The 1 run came in the first inning on an RBI single from Todd Lott. Matthew Barefoot was caught between third and home, so couldn't plate an additional run. But Cavalli's already walked 5 guys in the ballgame. The starter for the Wareham Gateman as the pitch to Luke Roscom is a swing and a ground ball right back up the middle for a base hit. Past the backhand of Braden Como, couldn't quite get there in time. As Luke Roscam's the first base runner of the day for the Wareham Gateman, first hit of the day for the Wareham Ball Club. And he's on at first with nobody out. So a C&I single from Luke Roscam. It sounded like he broke that bat, getting that pitch right off the end of the bat. Slow grounder up the middle, but Braden Como playing more off to his left and toward first. Wenzel the same at short, but towards third. And neither of them could make a play on it. Didn't really have a beat on the ball. The Nebraska catcher on at first. Hollowell from the set. The first pitch to the new hitter, and Isaac Collins is swinging a line drive into right center field, falling in for a base hit. Rounding second, heading to third is Luke Roscam. He'll get in, standing up. Throw is cut off, and just like that, the Wareham Gatemen have runners on the corners with nobody out in the top of the third. Back-to-back singles for the Gatemen, the 7 and 8 hitters coming through with base knocks. First 2 hits and first 2 base runners that Hollowell's allowed today. Hollowell now set to face the number 9 hitter for the Gatemen, Oliver Dunn, the Utah second baseman. Dunn comes into today on the struggle bus, to say the least. 3 for 36 on the summer. The first pitch from the right-hander, breaking ball, called strike right at the knees. So if you compare Dunn's 2018 season at Utah as opposed to his summer so far on the Cape, as Roscom stands on third, and now a pickoff from Gavin Hollowell. Diving back to the bag safely is Isaac Collins. Dunn's season at Utah compared to the Cape, 2 different stories. As at Utah, he hit .319, 66 hits, 17 for extra bases. He ended the season on a 7-game hitting streak, recording base knocks in 6 of his final 8 games. Fly ball out to right center field, called off by Eric Rivera, makes the catch, throw to home. Kyle Wilkie receives it, tag just not in time. Sliding ahead of the tag is Luke Roscom, and the Wareham Gatemen have tied this game up at 1 apiece on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Oliver Dunn. So a fly ball out to right center field. Looked like Todd Lott had a beat on it, but Eric Rivera calling him off, coming in and off to his left. Made a strong throw home to Kyle Wilkie, just a little bit up the line, down the third baseline, but Roscom sliding in just ahead of the tag. So that'll turn the Gateman lineup over. Jeremy Idens digs back in for his second at-bat. Right-handed hitter, and Idens struck out looking in his first at-bat. Runner takes off, a ground ball to the left side, fielded cleanly by Wenzel, throws it off balance to first, and it's not in time. Idens beats it out on an infield single. His first hit of the day. Moving down to second is Isaac Collins. And the Gatemen have 2 men on with 1 out for the number 2 hitter and Saeed Valenzuela. Valenzuela's 0 for 1 on the day. But after 2 clean innings from Gavin Hollowell, retiring the first 6 hitters, he's gotten himself into some trouble in this third inning. Already 1 run allowed, 3 hits, along with a sacrifice fly. Valenzuela, a left-handed hitter, plays his college ball at CSU Fullerton. Swings at the first pitch and sends a high pop-up into short left field. Matthew Barefoot coming a couple of steps in, settles under it and makes the catch, and there's 2 away for the Gatemen. So Hollowell settles down and records a big out. Valenzuela, who came into the day hitting .404, got just under that one and sent a high skying pop-up right to Matthew Barefoot. A can of corn for the left fielder out of Campbell. Just had to take a couple of steps in. But another tough out at hand for the right-hander in Gavin Hollowell, set to face Austin Shenton. 0 for 1 today, grounded out to third in the first inning. 1-1 game, 2 men on. First pitch is taken up high on a fastball. So Austin Shenton steps out of the box. He grabs his bat right at the head, just wiggles it a little bit. Now makes his way back into his stance. 2 runners on, Wenzel giving the runner at second some attention as a breaking ball from Gavin Hollowell misses in. Shenton now sits at a count of 2-0. He's got 17 RBIs so far this summer. Outfielders playing back, barefoot shifted off to his left. Next pitch from Hollowell off speed for a called strike. And now the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So Shenton, a left-handed hitter, plays his college ball at Florida International University. Hollowell ready with a 2-1. Fastball outside in the right-handed side of the batter's box, way away from the left-handed hitter in Shenton. 3-1 now. Shenton leads the team in RBIs with 17, I should say. Andrew Vaughn comes in second on that list with 14, but he's currently made his way over to Team USA. Handful of Gateman left just about a week and a half ago as the 3-1 to Shenton misses upstairs for ball 4. Gets away from the catcher Wilkie, bounces off the bricks, but each runner moving up 90 feet. Collins down to third. Idens over to second, and now Austin Shenton trots down to first. Bases are loaded with 2 outs on the top of the third. Cleanup hitter due up for the Gateman, Lyle Lockhart Jr. Time's called as pitching coach Ray Korn makes his way out to the mound to have a conference with Gavin Hollowell along with the rest of the infield. So Hollowell's hit a little bit of a bump in the road here in the third inning. Although he's only let up 1 run, and so far this summer, he's yet to allow multiple runs in any of his appearances. Hollowell, in his last start, went 5 innings, allowed just 1 run. That was against the Harwich Mariners. But Lyle Lockhart Jr., a left-handed hitter, he is a very large threat, much similar to the rest of this Gateman order. Lockhart in his season over at Houston, he hit .297 with 3 home runs. He had 48 hits and .844 OPS. He was named a second-team All-Conference. And how about this? When he played UConn back on May 11th this season, 3 home runs in 1 game, so all 3 of his long balls coming within the course of 1 contest. Meeting now concludes. All the infielders back to their respective positions. Ray Korn walking his way back to the third base dugout. Lyle Lockhart still well out of the batter's box. Adjusting his helmet, takes a couple of practice swings, way choked up on the bat. Adjusts both of his batting gloves, shakes his head, and now steps back in. 1-1 contest here at McKeon Park in the top of the third. 2 outs, the base is loaded. Gavin Hollowell sets at the belt. Wheels and fires the first pitch, a breaking ball just inside, ball 1. Lockhart grounded out to Davis Wenzel at short to start things off in the top of the second inning. But he's making his second at bat in as many frames. 1-0 from Hollowell, swinging a pop-up foul right behind home plate and over the press box. If Lockhart extends the inning, it'll bring up Paven Parks from Kent State. The left-handed hitter awaits on deck for Wareham. Gavin Hollowell looking to escape a major jam in the top of the third and keep this game knotted at 1. Infield playing back. Seth Gray off the line a little bit at third. Page is behind the runner at first. Hollowell the set, and the 1-1 on the way. Breaking ball low. 2-1 now to the hitter in Lockhart. Well, Lyle Lockhart hitting just .212 in his last 10 games, 143 in his last 5. He's just 3 for 21. That's coming into today. Now the pitch from Hollowell, swinging a short fly ball into right field. Todd Lott moving over to his right, makes the catch on the line for out number 3, and that'll do it for the Wareham Gatemen in the third. They played a run, but Gavin Hollowell escapes a jam, leaving 3 runners on, and keeps this contest knotted at 1-1. We'll be back in the bottom of the third right after this. Due up for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the third inning, Braden Como, Matthew Barefoot, and Pedro Pages when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein.
Right second baseman Braden Como set to lead things off for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the third inning. Cade Cavalli back on the mound for inning number 3 as the first pitch to Como's a swinging a line drive through the left side for a base hit. Como takes a short turn at first, now back to the bag, picks up what's his 25th hit of the season. He's on at first, nobody out. Matthew Barefoot stepping in. Campbell product so far on the day is 0 for 0 with a walk, so yet to record an official at-bat, as Cavalli has already put 5 men on via the free pass. First pitch to Barefoot, gets in and out of the glove of the catcher Roscam, over to the backstop, and jogging down to second is Braden Como. The Rice product moves into scoring position. He's on at second, nobody out. That pitch was called a ball to Barefoot, 1-0 the count. So a pass ball that got in and out of the glove of Roscam. Cavalli gets his sign, spikes a fastball in the dirt, blocked at the plate by Roscam, and now the count 2-0 to Barefoot. And Barefoot has been the second hottest hitter in the Cape this summer, right behind Austin Shenton, who stands over at third base, a few feet off the line to his left, playing behind the bag at third. But Barefoot hitting .375 on the summer, 13 RBIs. Cavalli steps off, no throw, but Como back to the bag. Oliver Dunn, the second baseman, playing up the middle and to his right, giving Como a couple of looks. Zahid Valenzuela, the shortstop, a couple steps to his left, but leaving the duties of holding on Como to Oliver Dunn, as a fastball from Cavalli is taken for strike 1 to Barefoot, right on the outer half the plate. Well, Matthew Barefoot hitting .368 with runners in scoring position this season. He wiggles that bat just behind his right shoulder. The next pitch down low in the dirt for ball 3. So now 3 balls and no strikes to the hitter in Matthew Barefoot. Como on at second. A gaping hole on the right side with Lockhart shifted over. It's swinging a ground ball to the left side. Fielded on the backhand by Saheed Valenzuela. No throw over to first, and Matthew Barefoot beats it out, picking up his first hit of the night. That'll be hit number 25 for him on the summer, and the Harbor Hawks are threatening again. First and second, nobody out for Pedro Pages. Como advances no further, stays put at second base as Valenzuela moved off to his right. Backhanded the ball, didn't make a throw to first, but with the intention of keeping Como where he was, as any throw across the diamond would have advanced the runner in Como. If Valenzuela had made a throw on that, it would have been off his back foot and a loopy one. The Page is into the box, swings at the first pitch and sends a ground ball right to Valenzuela at short, flips to second for one, relay to first in time for a 6-4-3 double play. Just what the doctor ordered for the Wareham Gateman, a twin killing with Como moving down to third. Two men retired for the Harbor Hawks, and Seth Gray walking into the left-handed side of the box. So Cavalli, helped out by his defense again, induces some soft contact from Pages, and now makes his way back into the windup. First pitch to Seth Gray, misses upstairs. But still a man on for the Harbor Hawks in a 1-1 contest. Seth Gray looking to change that right here with some 2-out hitting. Takes an off speed right on the outside corner as the count moves to 1-1. Well, with men in scoring position and 2 outs, Seth Gray's hitting .286 as he watches a breaking ball down in the dirt, and the count runs to 2-1. And with runners on base, Gray's hitting .267, much of the same to his average at Wright State, where he hit .267 this season. Third on the team in doubles. The next pitch from Cavalli, fastball in the dirt, blocked by the catcher in Roscom. Seth Gray now finds himself in a 3-1 count. Gray also yet to record official at-bat today, walked in the first and was stranded at second. Cavalli takes a deep breath from the wind. The 3-1 to Gray, swing and a miss through an off-speed pitch, and the count's now full. So Cavalli looking to get out of the third inning unscathed, already at 63 pitches on the night. 3-2 to Gray, a high chopper over to second base, fielded by Oliver Dunn on a hop, throw to first, a bang-bang play, and Seth Gray beats it out. Braden Como scores from third, and the Harbor Hawks are on top 2-1. So Seth Gray giving a hard 90 down the line, hustling right out of the batter's box. Oliver Dunn had to wait for it to come down, fielded it on a hop, a quick transfer to first, but Gray beats it out by half a step for an RBI infield single. 17th hit of the summer, 2-1 Harbor Hawks the score. Todd Lott, the hitter for the Harbor Hawks, about 3 feet out of the batter's box. His time is currently in. First base umpire having a couple of words with the head coach for the Wareham Gateman, Don Snedden. He now walks his way back to the dugout. I think he was trying to argue that he thought Gray was out. Pled his case, but ultimately rejected by the first place umpire in Jeff Kinney. Lott now into the box, wiggling the bat above his right shoulder. Gray with a short lead. First pitch, swinging a foul behind home plate on the ground ball. Todd Lott 0 for 1 on the day, or make it 1 for 1. He was the man with the infield single that plated the first run for the Harbor Hawks, scoring Braden Como from second as the next pitch is taken away for ball 2. So Como scored both runs today, one on an infield single from Todd Lott, the other on an infield base knock from Seth Gray. Cavalli into the set. The pitch to Todd Lott, swing and a miss through an off-speed pitch for strike 2. Looked like a changeup from the right-hander. Todd Lott tied for the league lead in home runs. He's got 5 on the summer. One of them coming back on July 4th against the YD Red Sox. Breaking ball swung on and fouled off the leg of Todd Lott inside the batter's box, where he'll gain a new life. Time's currently called. Cade Cavalli gets a new ball from the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio. So Seth Gray's on at first. 2 outs, 2-1 ball game in favor of the Harbor Hawks. We currently sit in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hyannis looking to pick up its 2nd win against Wareham on the year as the pitch to Lyle is a swing and a ground ball right to Valenzuela at short, takes a couple of crow hops, throws it right to Lyle Lockhart on a dart at first, and that'll be out number 3. So Cavalli gets out of the inning, but not before Hyannis plates an additional run on an infield single from Seth Gray to make it 2-1 Hyannis. We'll be back right after this for the top of the 4th on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Top of the 4th inning coming your way here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucey, and I'm here to take you around the league. Let's start off in the Western Division. Top of the 6th inning, Yarmouth Dennis leads Chatham 10-1 from Red Wilson Field. Noah Campbell, the infielder out of South Carolina, having a big day. He's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Top of the 6th down at Eldridge Park, Brewster out front in a big way, 7-1 over Orleans. And talk about setting the table. The top 3 hitters in the Whitecaps order each have an RBI. Brewster and Orleans, of course, battling for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Division, and Brewster with a statement game right now. Moving back over to the Western Division, Bourne leads Falmouth 2-1 down at Gov Fuller Field. Florida starter Tyler Dyson with 4 strikeouts in 5 innings of work today. Call that a quality start. Only allowed 2 earned runs as well. Has Bourne out front 2-1, and then we're going over to Catuit right now. The Kettleers lead 1-0 over the Mariners on Michael Tolia's 2nd home run of the 2018 summer. The difference right there. Chalk that up to 8 career Cape League home runs for the UCLA Bruin. He hit 6 jacks for Catuit last season. I'll hand this thing back over to Lyle Goldstein right now. Hyannis out front 2-1 here in the top of the 4th inning on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Lyle, take it away.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Top half of the 4th underway at McKeon Park. Due up for the Wareham Gateman to start things off against Gavin Hollowell. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Gateman. Pavin Park set to lead things off. Left-handed hitter out of Kent State digs in, wiggling that bat behind his left shoulder. Hollowell from the set kicks and fires the first pitch. A swing and a fly ball down the left field line and into foul ground. Seth Gray giving chase, going back and off to his right, but can't quite get there. Ball drops behind him, and that'll be strike 1 to the hitter in Parks. Pavin Park so far on the day, 0 for 1, grounded out to Hollowell. Or should we say it was a 1-3 putout. It was a line drive that Hollowell knocked down, came off the mound, picked it right up, and underhanded it to Pages at first. But now the 0-1 from Gavin, misses down low and away. So Hollowell currently in the 4th inning against the Gatemen. Hasn't gone more than 5 innings this season. 5 innings was his season high against the Gatemen. As that breaking ball to Parks is a swing and a high fly ball into deep right field. Todd Locke going back, settles at the warning track, gets under it, and makes the catch. And that'll be out number 1. So a long first out for Gavin Hollowell as he retires Pavin Parks. A breaking ball that Pavin was sitting on. Timed it right up, sent it out to deep right field, but Todd Lott had a beat on it. Tracked it down right at the base of the wall. So back-to-back F9s for Gavin Hollowell. He recorded a fly out to right to end the 3rd. as he's now set to face Jacob Goldfarb. His first pitch. Breaking ball misses down low. Goldfarb's been one of the two Gateman hitters to punch out today, both on looking strikeouts, and his came back in the second inning. The next pitch, way outside on a fastball for ball 2. Hollowell so far today has let up 3 hits, all of them coming in the third inning. Pitch to Goldfarb, swinging a foul right off his leg. And Jacob Goldfarb in a little bit of pain. Gingerly walking just outside the batter's box, favoring what looks to be that right leg. Kyle Wilkie runs out to the mound to have a quick conversation with Gavin Hollowell. Trainers will come out to look at Goldfarb quickly. But Goldfarb played for Cotuit for just under the first half of this summer before he was let go. Picked up less than 24 hours later by the Gateman. And now here making his first start for Wareham of the summer. Still looking for his first hit. Struck out in his first at-bat as a Gateman, as we mentioned a minute ago. Trainers jog back to the dugout. Goldfarb appears to be okay. Gives a nod to the home plate umpire. Lights just barely starting to come on here at McKeon Park. Still a fairly sunny day here on the harbor at 7:09 p.m. Plays now back in. Hollowell wheels and fires the next offering, and it misses down in the dirt. So Goldfarb sits with a 3-1 count. 1 out. Hyannis still leads 2-1. Infield playing back. The wind and the 3-1 from Hollowell, swinging a ground ball and a couple of hops to Braden Como at second. Fields it cleanly off a knee and gets up and throws to first in time. That'll be out number 2. Back-to-back outs recorded for Gavin Hollowell. First 2 men retired that he's faced in the 4th. And he's set to face Luke Roscombe, who's the man who started off the third inning rally for the Gateman. He singled and later scored on a sac fly from Oliver Dunn. Hollowell gets his sign. His first pitch catches the outside corner, and that'll be strike 1. Luke Roscombe hitting .281 on the summer. And now Hollowell starting to work quickly. A breaking ball misses up above the letters as the count runs to 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield playing straight up. Todd Lott shifted off the line and a little bit out toward right center. A breaking ball is a swing and a ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Como off his glove and can't make a play on it. Beating it out is Luke Roscombe, recording his second hit on the day. He's on at first with 2 outs. 4th hit allowed by Gavin Hollowell in his start tonight. 2 of them have been to the catcher in Roscombe. The man he's set to face now, Isaac Collins, the right fielder out of Creighton. Collins, a left-handed hitter, has both feet just into the box, but looking over toward the first base dugout to get a couple of signs from his coaches. The switch-hitting catcher in Roscombe on at first with a very short lead, being held on by Pedro Pages. Hollowell from the set. The first pitch to Collins, a fastball in there for strike 1, right down central. So Collins has the ability to play both infield and outfield. We've seen him come in as a defensive replacement out at second base a couple of times this summer. And Hollowell's ready with the 0-1. Swinging a fly ball out to straightaway center field. Eric Rivera taking a step to his right, settles under it, and makes the catch for out number 3. So Gavin Hollowell with another scoreless frame after allowing 1 run in the 3rd, puts up a scoreless 4th inning. 2-1 Hyannis, your score through 3.5 innings. And we'll be back right after this for the bottom of the 4th on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein.
Clemson catcher Kyle Wilkie set to lead things off for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom half of the fourth, and a new pitcher is on hand for the Wareham Gateman. 6'6", 220-pound right-hander Tyler Terzer, who fires a fastball that Wilkie swings and cuts right through for strike one. Cade Cavalli's day is done. The right-hander out of Oklahoma lasted 3 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, but his big problem was he walked 5 as time is called, and Luke Roscom jogs out to the mound. Terzer meets him about halfway to have a quick conference as they now break it up. Terzer back to the mound, Roscom back behind the plate. But Tyler Terzer has yet to play at Miami. He'll be transferring there in the fall as he fires the next pitch to Wilkie, which he swings and sends a high fly ball into short right center field. Coming on is the right fielder in Collins, makes the catch, and that'll be out number 1. So Kyle Wilkie retired for the first time tonight after walking back in the second. Will Holland, the Auburn designated hitter, stepping in. But Tyler Terzer played at Eastern Florida State College through his first 2 seasons. Miami's where he'll be transferring to when this Cape Cod season ends. But he was the number 1 prospect in the Florida Collegiate League in Terzer. So he works from the line, fires the first pitch to Holland, taken down low for ball 1. Terzer threw 41 innings in his 2018 campaign. Went 1-0. Also had a save to his name. Pitch to Holland, swinging a ground ball foul down the third base line. And Will Holland still looking for his first hit of the Cape League summer after spending a few weeks with Team USA. He's back out on Cape Cod. 0 for his first 5. Now the next pitch from Terzer misses down in the dirt. Holland watches it go by, gets under the glove of Roscom. However, nobody on base. Wilkie flew out to lead off the inning. So Will Holland now sits with a 2-1 count. Man out of Auburn hit .319 with 12 homers in his 2018 season. Now the 2-1 pitch, swinging a foul right off his left ankle as the count will move to 2-2. Holland walks out of the box, favoring that left ankle a little bit, but shakes it off. Well, the infield for the Wareham Gatemen, all playing back with nobody on and 1 out. After the Wareham Gatemen put up a run in the top of the 3rd inning on 3 hits, Harbor Hawks countered with 3 hits of their own. An RBI single from Seth Gray pushed across the 2nd run for the Harbor Hawks, who currently lead by a score of 2-1. Both Hyannis RBIs tonight have come on RBI infield singles. Todd Lott produced one in the 1st inning, and Seth Gray more of the same in the 3rd. Plays now back in. The next pitch to Will Holland hits him right on the left elbow. Tyler Terzer issues his first free pass of the night as Will Holland takes off his ankle guard and will run down to first base. 1 man on, 1 out for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the 4th inning, bringing up Eric Rivera. Will Holland can't be feeling too great after that at bat. He fouled the ball off his ankle and then takes a pitch off the elbow. He stands at first base, being held on by Lyle Lockhart. Rivera, the hitter. Right-handed side of the box. The first pitch from Tyler Terzer is a fastball, runs inside for ball 1. Eric Rivera, also yet to record an official at-bat today. Walked in the second, stranded at first. Terzer steps off and throws over to first. Back safely on the dive is Will Holland. Eric Rivera didn't record a hit in his pinch hit yesterday against Catuit, but before that, produced singles in back-to-back days. Holland takes off for second. The throw down by Roscom is not in time. Holland slides in safely under the tag, and the Harbor Hawks have a man in scoring position with just 1 man out. Holland got a great jump. Took off right on first movement from the right-hander in Terzer. Holland with some speed flying down the line. A strong throw from Roscom, but not in time to retire Holland. So Eric Rivera back into the box. The 1-1 pitch to him, swinging a line drive right at Lyle Lockhart at first, makes the catch, throw back to second, can't get Will Holland, and it rolls into left field. But with a quick beat on it is Jacob Goldfarb. Holland won't advance any further. Rivera lines out to first for the second out of the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll bring up Davis Wenzel, up for the 3rd time for the Harbor Hawks. And despite just 2 runs for Hyannis, they have made quick work around their lineup. Wenzel, his 3rd at bat in 4 innings. He struck out twice today, both of them swinging. Have been the only strikeouts that the Gatemen have produced. Terzer from the set. First pitch to Wenzel. Fastball gets away from Roscom. Holland moving down to third, takes a slight turn, and quickly retreats back as the Harbor Hawks now have a man 90 feet away from making this a 2-run lead. So Will Holland recognized it right away. Almost looked like he was flying down to third. He's got some real speed in his repertoire. 1-0 count to the hitter in Wenzel. The pitch from Terzer, swinging a low line drive down the left field line. That'll get down for a base hit. Holland cruises home from third. Wenzel taking a turn. He's heading into second. Gets in standing up with no throw. And the score is now 3-1 Harbor Hawks as Davis Wenzel produces an RBI for the 2nd time in as many games. First hit of the night. 2-run lead for Hyannis. Davis Wenzel really heating up, his 2nd double in as many days as well, as he stands on at second. 2 outs for Braden Como. Como so far today, 1 for 1 with a walk, has scored 2 runs. That was Will Holland that cruised home from third. And we mentioned the speed in his arsenal. He stole 9 bags this season at Auburn. That might not seem like a lot, but 9 stolen bags in a collegiate season is not too shabby to say the least. First pitch to Como is taken for a strike right at the knees. So Will Holland scores his first run of his Cape League career. Davis Wenzel picked up his first hit, now sporting a 1 for 3 day. The next pitch to Como, swung on and sent foul down the third base side. Oh, 0-2 count. Tyler Terzer looking to get out of this inning with no further damage. 3-1 Harbor Hawks. Hyannis with 5 hits and Wareham with 4. Terzer from the set and the pitch to Como, swinging a line drive into right center field for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Davis Wenzel. Throw is tossed in and cut off right at second base. And just like that, back-to-back RBI hits for the Harbor Hawks. They now lead 4-1. Braden Como coming through with his second hit of the night. Has accounted for 3 of the 4 runs so far here, and he is having himself a day, having himself a summer. Matthew Barefoot digging in now, as Como's average now moves up to 357 on the summer. He's given Barefoot a run for his money. Matthew takes the first pitch low and outside on an off-speed from Terzer. But Barefoot sits with a 385 average. Como now at 357. Terzer working from the set. Como starting to extend that lead at first, but Terzer steps off and throws over to first. Braden dives back safely. Barefoot sits with a 1-0 count. Infield playing back. Pitch from Terzer, swinging a fly ball into short left field. Coming on as Jacob Goldfarb makes the catch on the dive for out number 3. Goldfarb tracks it down just enough, some closing speed. A shoestring catch takes it right off the carpet, and that'll do it for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the 4th, but not before they play an additional pair of runs to extend their lead to 3, and the score is now 4-1 Hyannis through 4 innings of play. We'll be back right after this for the top of the 5th. Gavin Hollowell making his way back out to the mound when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein.
Number 9 hitter and Oliver Dunn making his way into the left-handed side of the batter's box to start the top half of the 5th inning. Gavin Hollowell, the right-hander out of St. John's, back on the mound for inning number 5 as he sets from the windup. First pitch to Dunn is a fastball, misses just outside. Hollowell looking to tie his season high in innings pitched in 1 start, through 5 in his previous outing against the Harwich Mariners, that coming back out at White House Field just a week ago as his breaking ball misses down low to the hitter and Dunn. Count now 2-0. Oliver Dunn produced a sac fly back in the 3rd inning. Was the lone run the Gateman have scored tonight. He swings and misses through that next pitch from Hollowell. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. That sac fly for Oliver Dunn was just his 3rd RBI of the summer. Coming into a tie with his hit total as he still has just a trio. As a breaking ball from Hollowell catches the outer half of the plate for strike 2. Count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Oliver Dunn, the second baseman out of Utah. Hollowell working quickly, gets his sign from Wilkie. The next pitch misses just upstairs for ball 3, and the count runs full. Jeremy Idens waiting on deck. As Hollowell's ready from the windup, the payoff pitch, swinging a ground ball out to second. Braden Como giving it a backhand attempt, but can't get there, and it rolls out into right center field. Oliver Dunn takes a hard turn at first, comes back to the bag, picks up his 4th hit of the summer, and the leadoff man's aboard for the Gateman in the top of the 5th.
Hollowell pitching really good so far today. Here to kind of has to settle down after letting up this leadoff hit and has to keep it at 4-1.
That was the 5th hit of the day for the Gateman, but all of them being singles, so Hollowell doing a good job preventing extra bases. Hasn't allowed a home run on the summer either. Jeremy Idens, the leadoff man for the Gateman. Set to make his 3rd plate appearance, all of them coming against Hollowell. His first pitch, breaking ball, runs onto the outer half of the plate for strike 1. Zidens gave it a look. 1 for 2 day for the UCLA center fielder. He was stranded at second back in that 3rd inning where Hollowell got out of the jam with the bases loaded. Hollowell throws over to first, but back safely is Oliver Dunn. The Gatemen trail by a score of 4-1 in the top of the 5th inning. Idens, the hitter, looking to move around his Pac-12 teammate, and Oliver Dunn, who stands at first, as Hollowell counters with a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. Three Pac-12 guys in the lineup tonight with Jacob Goldfarb from Oregon. Hollowell steps off the mound and throws over to first. Dunn's back safely. Now, the Gatemen do a good job of recruiting pretty heavily on the West Coast, not just those 3, but Andrew Vaughn out of Cal, Bryson Stott, UNLV, both those guys on to Team USA now as Hollowell throws to Idens, who sends a high pop up on the right side. Braden Como taking a couple steps to his left, settles under it to make the catch for the first out of the 5th. So an easy out there for the second baseman in Como. Didn't have to do too much. A pretty routine pop fly, about as can of corn as you'll get. Shade has fully clouded the infield now. Just a speck of sunlight out in the outfield right behind Todd Lott, about 50 feet behind him out in right field, as the sun is starting to set here in Hyannis. 7:30 p.m. your time. Hollowell from the set. The pitch to Saheed Valenzuela misses outside. Valenzuela's got 19 hits on the summer, but 0 for 2 today. Ground out to short and a fly out to left field. A left-handed hitter, extending that bat out just beyond his left shoulder as a throw back over to first base from Hollowell. Keeps the runner true and Dunn, who slides back safely. But Saheed Valenzuela, not a big guy, standing at just 5'9", 165 pounds. Hollowell throws over again, a closer throw this time. Tag applied by Pages, but Dunn back safely again. But that frame hold for Valenzuela has not stopped him by any means in achieving everything he could have hoped for and more. 2017 Big West Freshman of the Year, named to the Brooks Wallace Award watch list last season. Pitch to Valenzuela, swinging a line drive down the right field line for a base hit. Todd Lott fields it cleanly right on the chalk. Moving over to third is the runner in Dunn as the throw gets behind Wenzel. Seth Gray backing up as Valenzuela cruises into second, and that'll be a one-out double for the CSU Fullerton product. Picks up his first hit of the night, and the Gatemen are threatening here in the top of the 5th. 2 men in scoring position.
Hollow really just has to settle down. He has a 3-run lead right now. Harbor Hawks gave him some boost here. He definitely has to keep it at that, make sure his guys can go back up. Try to get more runs, try to put this game away.
And he's going to face Austin Shenton, the number 3 hitter in the Gateman lineup, who sports the highest batting average on the Cape. Now, Rob, we've seen it through the first 4.5 games of this summer between the Harbor Hawks and the Gatemen, and we know that Wareham can score in bunches. So if you're Hollowell, a key here would be a productive out. I think this is a scenario where you're willing to trade an out for a run if you can do so. As Hollowell goes from the set, the first pitch to Shenton gets away from the catcher and Wilkie. A late tag from home from the runner from third and Dunn, who slides in safely with no throw, as the lead is now 4-2 in favor of Hyannis. A wild pitch from Hollowell moves the runner in Dunn home. Valenzuela up to third, and that is ball 1 to Austin Shenton. The lead cut in half for the Gatemen. Shenton gives a quick smile to Kyle Wilkie, steps out of the box as time is called. But a tough break there from Hollowell, just couldn't quite command that breaking ball where he wanted it to go. Got away from Kyle Wilkie, who extended that left arm out across his body. Time now back, or play is now called back at McKeon Park. The next pitch from Hollowell to Shenton, swinging a line drive into left field for a base hit, falling right in front of Matthew Barefoot. Zahid Valenzuela trots home from third. Austin Shenton picks up his first hit of the night, and the lead is now 4-3 Harbor Hawks. Gateman have 2 runs scored in this inning, and a man on first. They're threatening even further.
A tough inning for Hollowell here. Just really not be able to get out of it. Got let the 2 guys on there after getting the first out, and unfortunately just unable to hold up.
Kyle Wilkie out to the mound to have a conversation with him. Chad Gassman making no movements out in the dugout. Looks like he's going to try and let Hollowell finish this inning out. Some action going down on the left field line and in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Looks like it's Ryan Pepio out of Butler, the right-hander, getting loose. Pepio just this past week was named Cape Cod Baseball League Pitcher of the Week. Pepio on the summer. 24 strikeouts. That leads the team. 3.95 ERA. But Gavin Hollowell's got 1 out and 1 on in the top of the 5th. Set to face Lyle Lockhart Jr., left-handed hitter out of Houston. His first pitch from the set is a fastball down low. So Hollowell, this is his first time this season that he's let up more than a run in any of his outings. A pass ball and a base hit from Austin Shenton have plated 2 Gateman hitters this inning. As Lockhart swings and sends a 1-hopper to second off the chest of Braden Como, tries to make the throw and recover, going off to his left, but not in time. Lyle Lockhart beats it out for a 1-out single. Austin Shenton moves down to second, and the Gatemen have recorded 3 hits in a row and 4 of their first 5 hitters to start the inning. So Lockhart hit it right on the screws, laced it out to second. Braden Como tried to keep it in front of him, but it got away from him just a little bit. Couldn't quite recover. And now Chad Gassman's going to make his way out to the mound. That will likely be the night for Gavin Hollowell. Conference at the mound. No signal yet, but now Pepio making the jog in from the bullpen as Hollowell will exit. 4 1/3 innings pitched. And Pepio will come in to try to slam the door on this 5th frame in the Wareham Gateman to keep the lead at 4-3 Harbor Hawks. We'll be back shortly here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back inside McKeon Park for the top half of the 5th inning. New reliever on hand for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, Ryan Pepio, the man out of Butler. Gavin Hollowell's night done after 4 1/3 innings. Gave up 7 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 3 earned runs up to this point, but responsible for the 2 men on base. Runners on first and second. As the first pitch to the new hitter in Pavin Parks is a fastball outside for ball 1. The Pepio comes into the day. This will be his 9th appearance on the summer. 3.95 ERA, 1-0 record. Pitch to Parks, misses up and away, 2-0 the count. Pepio leading the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in strikeouts this summer with 24. And we'll see if he keeps this streak going against the Gateman, because so far this summer, he's faced 6 Gatemen and struck out all 6. Not allowed a base runner, not allowed any contact to any of the Gateman hitters. So he works from the set, checks the runners, fires home to Parks, a swing and a miss on a fastball for strike 1. Pepio, as we mentioned before the break, was named the Cape Cod Baseball League Pitcher of the Week. And his strikeout total has just been racking up by the outing. Had 2 rough outings in his first 2 appearances of the season, but has really turned it around since as he spikes one in the dirt, chested up by Wilkie. No advancement from the runners. Count now moves to 3 balls and a strike. Austin Shenton on at second base. First base, Lyle Lockhart. Each of them produced singles. Shenton's was for an RBI. 4-3 Hyannis, still the score in the top of the 5th inning. Pepio from the set. Fires home as Park swings and sends a high fly ball into fairly deep left field. Backtracking is Matthew Barefoot. Now has a beat on it as he settles under it for out number 2. So Pavin Parks is the first Wareham Gateman this summer to make any type of contact against Ryan Pepio, but it's for an F7, lazy fly ball out to left field. And there's 2 down for the Gateman in the top of the 5th inning. Jacob Goldfarb now the hitter, left fielder out of Oregon. Also a left-handed hitter. Pepio from the set. Moving that bat very lightly as the hitter in Goldfarb as he watches a first pitch off speed, miss outside. And so far here tonight, Jeremy Idens is the only right-handed hitter in this entire Gateman lineup. But it's worked to their advantage so far as Hyannis has thrown 2 righties as Pepio's fastball is cut on and missed for strike 2 by the hitter in Goldfarb. Rather, strike 1. Count now moves to a ball and a strike. Wareham has 8 hits on the night. 2 men on with 2 outs. The pitch from Pepio misses down and away for ball 2. Pepio's season at Baylor, through 75 2/3 innings, a 2.62 ERA, struck out 101 hitters. So he's got some swing and miss in his repertoire for sure. He sets right at the belt, the 2-1 pitch, swinging a foul up and out of play over the press box behind home plate. Goldfarb steps out of the box, resets. Takes half a practice swing, but now back in. Braden Como shifted off to his left, more over toward the right side. Davis Wenzel giving Shenton some attention at second. Pepio, the next offering, off speed, misses away. Ryan Pepio looking to keep this a 4-3 ball game in favor of the Harbor Hawks. They lead by 1 run. 2 men have already come across for the Gateman in this top of the 5th. It's a full count to the hitter in Goldfarb. 2 outs, 2 on. 1 run lead for Hyannis. Pepio the set, checks the runner. The 3-2 pitch misses away for ball 4. Jacob Goldfarb draws a 2-out walk to load the bases.
Pepio not as effective today coming out on the mound there, getting that high fly ball and now walking the guy. The bases are loaded.
And now Luke Roscom ready to step in. He's had the best night out of any Gateman up to this point. 2 hits, a run scored, both of them coming on singles. It'll be his first time seeing the Butler right-hander in Pepio. Austin Shenton moved down to third on the walk. Lyle Lockhart over to second. And now the previous hitter in Goldfarb on at first with the infield back. Pepio continuing from the set. The first pitch, check swing, didn't go around for ball 1. That fastball missed right at the neck level. Sun continuing to set here just beyond McKeon Park. 7:45 p.m. your time. We're at the 2-hour, 45-minute mark of this game. This one's set to be a marathon. Pepio's fastball misses low and away for ball 2. The start time of first pitch was 5:59, and we're not even halfway through this game yet. We're making an hour, 45 minutes, we should say. But a lot of runners reaching. 14 hits so far up to this point, 7 runs. Pepio from the set and the 2-0 pitch. Called strike by the home plate umpire in Letizio, right at the knees of the catcher in Roscom. Roscom in his 2018 campaign at Nebraska hit .254, 30 RBIs. Pepio checks the runners from the set. 2-1 pitch, fastball for a called strike as the count runs even. Roscom hit 3 home runs in his 2018 campaign. Started in every game he played in. That was 31 of 31 games. It's a 2-2 count with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The pitch from Pepio, swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch for strike 3. And the Butler right-hander keeps the lead 4-3 in favor of the Harbor Hawks as Luke Roscom punches out for the first time tonight, retired for the first time this evening, and Pepio escapes a bases-loaded jam. 4-3 Hyannis, your score through 4.5 innings. And we'll be back right after this for the bottom of the 5th on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's Voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Robert Marcello.
Who lead it off in the bottom of the fifth for the Harbor Hawks is Pedro Pages. Up after that in the on-deck circle is Seth Gray. I'm Robert Marcello. On the play-by-play, Lyle on the color commentating role. Definitely had a long one today, Lyle.
Oh, absolutely.
First pitch of the bottom of the fifth is fouled off Pedro Pages. Took it down 0-1 in the count. If you're just joining us on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, it is 4-3 Hyannis. A 1 pitch. That's a ball outside. Count now even at 1-1. Pitches in. That's a pitch inside.
Well, maybe this game's making up for a little bit of last time, Rob, because if I remember right, the last time the two of us were on the call together, I think the first half of the game lasted under an hour, and then the second half went about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Very true. That is a pitch in now. 2 strikes on Pages.
Of course, I think that game was back against the Bourne Braves, and you referenced it earlier. That was highlighted by a 2 RBI double for Seth Gray, who stands on deck.
Pitch is fouled off. Pages just gets the end of the bat. The lights are on here in McKeon Park. Starting to get a little brighter as the sun's starting to go down, and a nice sunset for the landscape here in downtown Hyannis. 4-3, nobody out in the bottom of the fifth with Pedro Pages up. Pitch is in. That is a ground ball to the first baseman. He has it. He'll step it on to first for the first out. Seth Gray. Now up Todd Lott in the on-deck circle. 1 out in the bottom of the fifth. Pitch is in. That's a pitch inside. Quickly up 0-1 in the count is Seth Gray. Seth Gray has been a clutch hitter for the Harbor Hawks this past week. Swing and a miss. That outside changeup is Seth Gray. Now it is even at 1-1 in the count. Comes to the set. 1-1 pitch. That is a fly ball out into the gap, and the left fielder thought about coming in, but he didn't, but it got past him. And Seth Gray with a 1-out double.
Third double of the year for Seth Gray. He shot that one the other way. The left fielder in Goldfarb was playing fairly in left field. I don't think he was expecting Seth to hit that one the other way, but he gave it a nice punch into left center field. Goldfarb couldn't backtrack on it in time, and Gray just cruised into second with a double. Harbor Hawks threatening again.
Todd Lott up. Power hitter for the Harbor Hawks. Trying to get a little cushion as they're only up by 1 run in the bottom of the fifth. Seth Gray is at first. Pitches in. That is a ground ball that gets past the third baseman. And the runner will be held up at third. There'll be runners on the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth.
On back-to-back singles for the Harbor Hawks. Or back-to-back hits, we should say, for the Harbor Hawks is Seth Gray double. But Todd Lott coming through. That's his second hit of the day. He produced an RBI single in the first inning, and he's continuing to swing a hot bat this summer, too, after really getting off to kind of a slow start. He's turned things around in a hurry, sitting with a .317 average, and now runners on the corners.
Luke Roscam, the catcher for the Gateman, just giving out some signs to all of his infielders. Kyle Wilkie is up. Pitches in. That is in for a strike. Right down the heart of the plate. Quickly down 0-1 is Wilkie. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Hyannis up by 1, 4-3. Both runners taking their leads off of first and third. Pitches in. That is a ground ball that will go foul. There's Seth Gray had to be held up at third as it just came around the bag as Austin Shenton over at third. Could have got it and just tagged him out for an easy out if it was fair. Kyle Wilkie going back to the batter's box, resuming play. Home plate umpire just quickly brushing off the home plate. We can see a little better. And the play's back on. Kyle Wilkie throws back to first. Tall had a slide in. They'll be safe. Steps off the first there. Very uncharacteristic side move there. Looked like he could have walked.
Yeah, that was from third to first. That move's actually banned now in the major leagues, but up at the collegiate level, it's still allowed. So you watch Keyser step over to Seth Gray at third and then immediately turn around to first.
Oh, pitch. That is a ground ball to the third baseman. He'll throw it on to second. Just getting an easy out, and the Harbor Hawks do add a run. It is now 5-3. Hyannis, Kyle Wilkie with the RBI.
Well, it's an RBI fielder's choice from Wilkie, but it more than does the job. Takes Austin Shenton off to his left on a slow ground ball to the left side. Shenton, with his gravity and momentum, taking his way towards second, made an easy throw over to Oliver Dunn, but couldn't complete the double play. Wilkie beats it out, and an insurance run for Hyannis, like you were mentioning earlier, which was much needed, as they now are back to a 2-run lead.
Will Holland at DH for the Harbor Hawks now up. First pitch is a ball in the dirt. Stopped by Luke Roscan. Pitches in. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, but it will get through. Holland gets on base.
And there's Will Holland's first hit of the Cape League summer. Just a ground ball scorched up the middle, out of the reach of the shortstop in Valenzuela. And if I had to guess, I would have to say pretty confidently that that's going to be the first of many for the Auburn shortstop.
Sure will, as he had a great year at Auburn. We talked about the first start of the season that he had yesterday. And the manager for the Gateman coming out, talking to his pitcher, maybe bringing someone in. We'll have to see.
Yeah, not a whole lot of action going down in the Gateman bullpen. A right-hander starting to get loose. Well, let's see what they call. Looks like it might be a defensive change. Oh, no. You know what? It is a pitching change. They're bringing in Paven Parks, who is in the designated hitter spot to start today, but I guess he's ready to go on the mound.
That's definitely weird. Well, we're going to allow him to warm up. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media.
We are back in Hyannis. Baden Parks on the mound.
Yeah, Pavin Parks making his first appearance on the mound for the Gateman this summer. Started off in the designated hitter slot, but in his season at Kent State, he threw just 5 innings, an ERA of 10.80, 1-0 record, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 350 batting average against.
Eric Rivera now runners at first and second. Pitches in. Ball just outside in the dirt. Pavin Parks goes to Kent State University. That's another ball in the dirt. Rivera up in the count, 2-0. Pitches in. That is in for a strike right down the heart of the plate. Rivera thought about swinging at it, but decided not to. If he put a good swing on that, could have gone an RBI. 2 guys on here for the Harbor Hawks, trying to continue to widen their lead. They're already up 5-3. Pitches in to Rivera. It is hit by pitch. The bases are loaded for Davis Wenzel.
Yeah, a lot of free passes issued by the Gateman pitching staff tonight. This is a Wareham pitching staff that came into the night just 3rd in the league in walks allowed, the 3rd least among the 10 teams here in the Cape Cod League. But I would have to say that number is going to drop significantly. Their ranking, I should say, is going to drop significantly. And the number of walks and their walk total is going to go way, way up by the end of the night. I think you check those numbers tomorrow, they'll be toward the middle to bottom half of the league. There's 5 walks from Cavalli, now a hit man for the new pitcher in Parks.
Pitch into Wenzel's called for a strike. Not a good start for Parks as the first batter he faces, he hits him. A pitch from Parks into Wenzel. Ball outside.
Yeah, that's the second hit man for the Harbor Hawks this summer. This game, I should say. Will Holland was plunked right on the right or the left elbow back in his last at bat. So 7 free passes issued by the Gateman pitching staff tonight.
Pitches in. That sweeping off-speed pitch did not catch the outside part of the plate. That's now a ball. Pitch into Parks into Wenzel. That is a ball high. And the Wareham Gateman really have to calm down here is now they could just walk on a run.
And it's interesting they decided to go with Parks. Of course, he can move back to the designated hitter spot when his inning's over or his outing's over.
Oh, pitch. That is ball 4. A run will come home. It is now 6-3 Hyannis. And the Harbor Hawks continue to score some runs here. Something really like in the last week. Kind of been difficult.
Second RBI of the day for Davis Wenzel, his first walk and 17th on the summer. I mean, he is a base on balls machine to say the least. But now the 8th free pass led up of the night for the Wareham Gatemen. They have not been able to command the zone. And Pavin Parks, second free pass on as many hitters.
That pitch is high, does not score a run there. That's a scary situation. Braden Como right by his head there, but he's all right.
And he just gives a little bit of a smile to Luke Roscombe, the catcher. I think he shakes it off and takes a little bit of a deep breath outside the batter's box. Will Holland couldn't advance home on the play as the ball bounced right off the bricks beyond home plate at McKeon Park and moved right back to the catcher in Roscombe. Holland stayed at third, but Haven Park's really struggling with his command here in his outing. He only walked 2 guys in 5 innings, but not a whole lot of experience on the mound at the collegiate level. So a little bit of an interesting decision by the Gateman to bring him in here, especially in a situation where it was a 1-run ball game coming into this inning. But the base is loaded for the Harbor Hawks. Score now 6-3. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Pitch is in. Pitch outside. Pitch into Parks. That's a called strike. Catches the inside part of the plate. Como kind of stretching out, signaling that he probably didn't like that call. But as very respectful, the umpire does not say anything. Pitch is in. That's a strike called high. There are now 2 strikes on Como. Oh, pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Not until the Harbor Hawks score a couple of runs in this inning. It is now 6-3. After 5 innings, the Wareham Gateman will be up in the top of the 6th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Robert Marcello.
We are back here in Hyannis. Now, Isaac Collins now up to lead things off in the top of the 6th. Ron Pepio back out on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch into Pepio. It's in for a strike as Collins thought about bunting, but turned it back around, but it is called a strike. Pitch is in low, almost bounces in the dirt. They'll call the ball. Counts now at 1-1. Pitch is in for a strike. Good pitch. It catches the outside part of the plate. Pepio in the set, ready to pitch. Throws it. Let's pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Kyle Wilkie. Allowing that to get past him, but no runs are on. No man on base. So he doesn't have to worry. Score is 6-3, Hyannis. Here to start the top of the 6th. Nobody out. Pepio's pitching to Collins. That is a ball just outside there. Wilkie tried to bring it back to frame it in the zone, but just a little off. It would have been a little obvious. Action going on in both bullpens. Right now, pitch, ball 4 inside there. Pepio a little frustrated with himself. And a leadoff walk.
Pepio not a guy to walk a lot of hitters. That's just his 7th walk issued on the summer compared to what's been 25 strikeouts up to this point. The hitter in Collins, a patient at bat, reaches base for the 2nd time today. Now 1 for 2 with a walk.
Oliver Dunn, the 9th man in the order for the Harbor Hawks. Sorry, the Gateman up. Pitches in from Pepio. That pitch is outside. There, Wilkie had to stretch out of his catcher's position to be able to catch that ball. No runners did advance, though. Pitches and throws back first. Pages didn't even think about applying a tag because he was already in. Taking lead off of first is Collins. Pitch in from Pepio. Ball is just outside, on the outside part of the plate. Did not get that call that time. Pepio looking over at first. Collins taking a very minimal lead. Doesn't really have to worry about anyone going. Pitching for a strike inside part of the plate. Right around where his belt buckle is. Pitches in from Pepio, but he'll have to throw back to first. Almost gets past Pages, but he's able to get it. Collins slides back into first. As the at-bat continues. Has to throw back to first again. Pepio does not want him to steal, knowing that Collins has a lot of speed over at first. Oliver Dunn up for the Wareham Gateman, the second baseman tonight. The Wareham Gateman. Pitch in from Pepio. That's outside. Low. Pitches in. That is a high fly ball that will just get past the center fielder. That run might come home as it gets stuck in the fence, and that will score a run. And Oliver Dunn sliding into third, scores now 6-4.
Well, Pepio just left that one out over the heart of the plate, and the hitter and Dunn just crushed it out to deep center. Eric Rivera had a little bit of a beat on it, but couldn't backtrack to it in time. It one hopped off the wall. And believe it or not, that's the first earned run Ryan Pepio's allowed since June the 17th in his second appearance on the year against Brewster. He has been absolutely locked down up until this point, but in a little bit of a jam here in the 6th.
The pitch coach for the Harbor Hawks is speaking to Pepio, all the other infielders, as there's some action going out in the bullpen. Left-hander. We'll have to find out who it is if he's able to come in. Home plate umpire is going to go out and try to break up this mound visit as it's going just a little too long. Jeremy Idens lead it off for the Gateman.
Long conference going on at the mound. Raycorn might be trying to just stall a little bit of time here. As it looks like that's Adam Elliott down in the Harbor Hawks bullpen getting loose, the left-hander out of Louisville. But if Pepio could finish the inning, that would be huge for this Harbor Hawks ball club. As Ryan down the stretch has been arguably their best reliever up to this point. Of course, he won Cape Cod League Player of the Week. Been an absolute strikeout machine. But through the first two hitters of this inning, off to a little bit of a rocky start.
There is a runner at third. First pitch into Idens is called for a strike. Pitch in. That is called for a strike. The same exact pitch, right around the same exact spot. Filthy.
Wow, that had some bite to it from Pepio. That started right, probably above the letters to Jeremy Idens and just dropped in, I should say, right at the knees. And Idens could do nothing but watch it just go by.
Pitch in from Pepio to Idens. That pitch is high. Right around where his helmet is.
And Pepio trying the curveball fastball combo after seeing some slow stuff in the hitter and Idens. Pepio tried to go back to a high fastball, see if he could get Idens to chase up and out of the zone. But the center fielder out of UCLA failed to do so. We'll see what Pepio goes back to here. It could be that dropping 12-6 curveball.
Pitch into Idens. That is a ground ball to Braden Como over at second. He'll throw it on to first. That run does score. And it is now 6-5 Hyannis. After getting those two added runs, just really not enough. Now it's a one-run game.
Well, Hyannis willing to trade outs for runs here. The infield was playing back with nobody out. Braden Como just fielded it pretty cleanly on a couple of hops over at second. Didn't have a play at the plate, but never had an intention to go there. Just made a nice, easy throw to Pedro Pages over at first for the first out of the inning. But now Pepio a clean slate. Nobody on and one out.
Saheed Valenzuela up next for the Gateman. The second man in the order for the Wareham Gateman. Bases are empty. That is a nasty pitch from Pepio in for a strike. Just catches the outer edge of the plate.
And that curveball is really dropping from 12-6. It starts up so high and just absolutely disappears right at the end of it.
Oh, pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three, two gone. Here in the top of the sixth.
That's Pepio's second strikeout of the night. But, we see it less and less these days from so many pitchers. So many guys develop a slider that kind of has more horizontal movement to it as opposed to the 12-6 curveball. But Pepio really going from 12-6, and it's pretty nasty to say the least. It's gotten a couple of hitters so far. Kept him off balance tonight.
That sweeping off-speed pitch is in for a strike.
And there it is again into the hitter in Austin Shenton, who's been the hottest hitter on the Cape. Pepio being smart, starting him off with some slow stuff, try to keep him off balance.
That is a laser route to right field, but Todd Lutt able to go on to catch it. The Wareham Gatemen score 2 runs in the top of the sixth to draw within one. It is 6-5. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the sixth. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Derek West on the mound for the Gateman. And to lead off the bottom of the sixth is Matthew Barefoot, trying to score just a couple more runs here. As it seems like the Harbor Hawks, every single time they let up a couple of runs, they've been able to respond, but Wareham just keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight to say the least tonight. This game just has back and forth written all over it, as it's just gone back and forth. Hyannis has scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings. Gateman put up 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, an additional 2 in the 6th. So both teams have scored runs in their last 2 frames of offense up to this point. But for Derek West, the 6'5", 230-pound right fielder out of Pitt, 3.24 ERA on the year, made 13 appearances, 3-4 record, 50 innings, walked 24, struck out 47. And the umpires are talking a couple of things over, Rob. It sounds like Pavin Parks' night is done, not just as a pitcher, but in the designated hitter slot as well. So currently, as we speak, Derek West would be the hitter in the order for the Gateman, but more likely than not, it'll be a pinch hitter when we see that spot come up to bat in one of the later innings. And as we speak, it'll be the next inning in the top of the 7th as Parks is the second guy due up. So more likely than not, you'll see a bat come off the bench for Wareham.
Matthew Barefoot, as I said, to lead off things in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch in low for a ball. 6-5 Hyannis. If you're joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. A pitch from Barefoot outside. High. Now sits at 2-0. Hitters count for Matthew Barefoot. Pitch, that is a ball inside low. Count now at 3-0. Pitch. That is ball 4 and a leadoff walk. As the Harbor Hawks in business, trying to add a couple more runs. Pedro Page is now up, trying to add a couple more runs for the Harbor Hawks, just at least trying to get on base.
And Matthew Barefoot, 3rd time reaching base tonight, 2nd walk. So 1 for 2 day for him. And here we go again. Harbor Hawks rallying to start the inning.
Pedro Page is the last time he was up, grounded out. And that'll be a ball. And now the catcher and the pitcher will meet out on the mound. Try to settle West down, as so far today in this short outing that he's had, he hasn't pitched very well. Giving up a leadoff walk.
Yeah, struggling in his command, but we've said that what feels like a million times tonight. To my count, that's the 9th free pass of the night now that the Gatemen have allowed. 7 walks.
Definitely hard to win games when you're doing that. But they're in first place. That is in for a strike.
They're in first place, and it's still a 1-run game here, so they've mustered enough offense to keep themselves right in the ball game. And up to this point, Hyannis stranded 8 runners on base, at least 1 in every inning.
That's another ball. And the Harbor Hawk hitters today have been very patient up at the plate. Sometimes that doesn't work out, but today it really has.
Yeah, not giving in too much to these Gateman pitchers, not swinging a ton of stuff off the plate, just waiting to get their pitch.
No pitch. That is fouled off. Some type of balloon of some kind is just past the right fielder, right around the warning track. He'll have to pick it up. Usually you don't see that.
No, absolutely not. But kind of a windy day here. Like the wind's starting to pick up just a little bit, so it probably flew in from beyond the fence somewhere. Yeah, Isaac Collins having to grab it quickly, jogs it over to the bullpen. And Derek West still trying to settle down here in his first appearance on the Cape League summer.
As you see at Major League Baseball games, they have those blow-up balls that they throw around. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, on to second, on to first, and a double play. And now 2 outs quickly in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, tough break for Pages. That's the second 6-4-3 double play he's grounded into tonight. That one just a chopper right to Valenzuela at short. Took a step to his left. Quick underhand short way to second to Oliver Dunn, and then a strong throw back to first. But Pedro Pages, a little bit of a slump over the last week or so. Doesn't have a hit so far tonight. 3 ground outs and a fly out.
Seth Gray now up to bat. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 6th. Look like the Harbor Hawks are going to try to be able to get something going. And this quickly shut down. Pitches in. Swing and a miss at that sweeping off-speed pitch there. Really fooling Seth Gray. He was practically out at home plate even before the ball came in.
Well, how about another guy with a 12-6 curveball? We talked about it with Ryan Pepio. And now Derek West showing it as well. Some really nice bite to it right at the end, which is the key to having a good 12-6.
Pitch from West. That's a ball in the dirt. The time now is 8:26. This game today, really, the first 4.5 innings, taking a really long time. This is for first place, so this is a very important key matchup. Pitch into Gray, bounces off the catcher's thigh. There it goes to the backstop. Good stop.
And time's called a meeting now at the mound. Seth Gray so far today, he's got 2 hits along with a walk, so 2 for 2. Has reached base all 3 times. And his average now up to 340. So a handful of guys in this Harbor Hawks order have really, really been swinging the bats over the last couple of weeks or so. You got Como, Barefoot, Gray, and of course Todd Lott.
Seth Gray, the last time he was up, he doubled. That is swing and a miss. Strike 3 there for Gray. Unable to get anything on it. And after 6 innings, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks are up 6-5. The Wareham Gateman will be up in the top of the 7th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Start the top of the 7th, the home plate umpire and the manager for the Gateman continue having a conversation about this rule with the pitcher. This conversation continues. Pepio on the mound, still just throwing a couple of warm-up tosses, but everything's fine. Now everyone will go back. But now we're going to get ready to start the top of the 7th here in Hyannis. Lyle Lockhart up to get things started. Last time he was up was the 5th inning. He struck out. He's 0 for 3 on the day. First pitch in for a strike. Oh, pitch into Lockhart. That is called a strike. So Wilkie, good job framing that one. Quickly down 0-2 in the count is Lockhart. Start things off in the top of the 7th. Oh, pitch into Pepio. Ball caught just the dirt there. Passes Wilkie right in between his legs. Unable to block that one, but it is still now a 1-2 count. But at the time it was an 0-2 count. Pretty much in pitch darkness here tonight in Hyannis. 1-2 pitch from Pepio. That is a fly ball out to the center fielder, Rivera. He's on it, and he catches it for the first out here in the top of the 7th. Pavin Parks now up, and there's still some. Now up to bat is number 24 for the Wareham Gateman. Derek West. Coach Chad Gassman meeting with the home plate umpire. This has been really just a constant theme of this game. Both coaches just arguing about different calls in the game, different situations. It's been a long one here today, and it's going to continue to be longer if they don't stop doing this. Now the home plate umpire all set, ready to go. And here we go. Como and Wenzel going back to second and shortstop. First pitch is fouled off. Allowing the pitcher to bat. There gets a piece of that. The whole Wareham Gateman bench erupted. Pitches in. That is a ground ball to Wenzel at shortstop. He'll be able to throw it on the first for the second out here in the top of the 7th. Now up is Jacob Goldstein. Jacob is the left fielder for the game, and that first pitch is in for a strike. Last time he was up in the 5th inning, he walked. Oh, pitch. That is a foul ball. Will go right past us, right behind home plate here in McKeon Park. Pepio trying to get himself a clean inning, trying to keep this with a 1-run lead for the Harbor Hawks, trying a very important game this season. Pretty much to the halfway point, swinging a miss, strike 3 at that outside changeup. And now the Harbor Hawks will be still up 6-5. They'll be up in the bottom of the 7th. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
We are back in Hyannis. Todd Lott to lead things off in the bottom of the 7th, currently up 1 run. In a tight first place, second place matchup. Sounds like somebody potentially seen the playoffs. Kind of a playoff-like atmosphere here in Hyannis. A pretty good crowd. That is a ground ball to the third baseman. He has it. He'll throw a laser to first, and he'll be able to catch it for the first out. As Shenton with that great stop. Ball with his speed, just not enough. Kyle Wilkie will now be up. One of the loudest crowds that we've been on the broadcast for was yesterday with the Katuitt Kettleers. Pretty much a sold-out crowd there. As a very loud and rowdy crowd, as that was the Patriot League Cup. Still 6-5 here, Kyle Wilkie. Pitches in. That is just inside there. Wilkie had to turn his body so he wouldn't get hit by the ball. West still on the mound for the Gateman. Oh, pitch. That is in for a strike. This is starting to get a little pretty late here in Hyannis. Almost approaching 3 hours. Not even in the 8th inning. Pitch is fouled off. Pitch from Weston to Wilkie. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Now up is Will Holland. He got his first hit as a Harbor Hawk the last time he was up of the season. Newly added, I want to say about a week ago. Came here, played excellent defensively, and finally was awarded his first hit. Pitches in. That is a ball outside. Holland quickly up in the count 1-0. Eric Rivera on the on-deck circle. Pitches in. That is inside for a strike there. Looked like it was going to hit him, and then it just curved back in. Oh, pitch. That is a ball outside to Holland. Holland trying to get his second hit in a Harbor Hawks uniform today. Started late afternoon's game, and then pinch hit in YD. That is a fly ball out to left field, and he drops it. Goes in a second, slide in is Holland, and he is in with a 2-out. Potential hit there. A potential, it probably will be scored an error. Let's go far. There, got caught up in the lights. But Holland is standing at second. That will be scored a double, as they will give Goldfar the benefit of the doubt as he backed up. And honestly, it looked like off the bat that was going to be able to get out and the Hawks were going to be able to get a run, but the wind very minimal here in Hyannis. Kind of took that and knocked it down a little bit. Holland taking his lead off a second. Pitch into Rivera's called the ball. On deck is the leadoff man for the Harbor Hawks, Davis Wenzel. The Harbor Hawks are trying to add an extra run. Trying to help their bullpen out a little bit, as they've done that their fair share of that today. Pitch into Rivera is called an outside strike. Rivera just kind of practicing his swing right before he gets right back into the batter's box. Weston the set. Pitches into Rivera. That is a ball in the dirt. Gispat's the catcher, and a run will go to third. Now the Gateman might have to play in, but there is 2 outs. So they just might be able to play at regular depth, as that will be awarded a pass ball. Catcher had no idea where that ball was. You're in a big spot for Rivera. About a month ago, he hit a lead-off or a walk-off single to win a second game of a doubleheader against the Brewster Whitecaps. Oh, pitch. That is a foul ball that screeches right down the first base side into the woods. Donald call anyway. Oh, pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw it on the first, way over his head. That will score a run. Rivera's going to keep running all the way to second base, and he will be in on another bad throw. Scores now 7-5. Hyannis, an extra run. And Will Holland more than likely will not be awarded a hit on that. Now Davis Wenzel will be up. Rivera has to take off his gloves and his protection right near. Now he is on second. That'll be awarded an error. Now it's 7-5. Wenzel up. First pitch in for a strike. Oh, pitch. That is in for a ball. Is that sweeping off-speed pitch, unable to get high enough as it lands right in the dirt. Runner still at second. Pitch in from West. That sweeping off-speed pitch. Call the ball. As this inning prolongs. Innings get longer and longer. We are in the bottom of the seventh, though. Pitch in from West to Wenzel. That's foul ball. Lands just to the left of us. Right around where the Wareham Gateman broadcasters, sitting just above their head. West in the set. Wenzel. Ready for the pitch. Oh, pitch. That pitch is outside. Catcher for Wareham had to stretch out of his normal stance to be able to get that ball. Rivera on second base. Did not get an RBI, though, because it was an error. Wareham thought they were out of the inning. Oh, pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw it on to first. He'll be able to get it over this time. Not until the Harbor Hawks do add a run on an error by the Gateman. After 7 innings, the score is 7-5, Hyannis. Wareham will be up in the top of the 8th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's Voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Robert Marcello.
Welcome back here to McKeon Park. We are about to get ready to start the top of the 8th. Pepio still on the mound. That is fouled back. Luke Roskin. Roscom. Back up. Start things off in the top of the 8th inning. Pitching to Pepio. That is a ball low.
Well, a couple of defensive changes for the Harbor Hawks. Tommy Jew out of UC Santa Barbara takes over in center field. Meanwhile, Eric Rivera shifts over to right. So Todd Lott's day as Dani comes out of the ball game. Tommy Jew will hit in Lott's spot in the order.
Pitch is a nasty pitch into Pepio with that off-speed pitch in for a strike. Right down the heart of the plate. Oh, pitch. That is a ground ball that will be tapped over to Braden Como. He's able to get it in time for the first out in the top of the 8th.
Pepio and the Harbor Hawks have held Luke Roscom in check after his first 2 singles and his first 2 at-bats of the night. A strikeout in his previous one, that coming back in the 5th, and then a ground out to second right there. A couple of hops over to Como, fields it. With the glove facing up, pretty easy play, and then a short throw over to first.
Isaac Collins. Now, the last time he was up, he walked and came around to score. That pitch is outside for a ball. Pepio working pretty hard today coming out of the bullpen. I haven't seen him for this long. Not a lot of action going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen, so they're just going to let him finish it off here in the 8th. That's in for a strike, a sweeping off speed pitch.
He's been really good ever since that 6th inning where he let up a couple of runs. Dylan Thomas getting loose in the bullpen.
Pitch into Pepio. Swing and a miss. That pitch by Collins. There, the Harbor Hawks really are just trying to get the best of the Wareham Gateman because they really haven't beaten them a lot this year.
No, they haven't. Series currently sits at 3-1 in favor of the Gateman. Hyannis won 1 contest here at McKeon Park. Series ended in a 3-3 tie last year.
That pitch is outside for a ball.
And these two teams have faced off a lot within the last couple of weeks, but then they won't see each other again for a good while. Another 21 days till they'll square off. That'll come on July 29th for the last time at Spillane Field.
Pitch into Pepio. Swing and a miss. That ball goes to the backstop. Wilkie, will he get it over? Throws it. A good throw over by Kyle Wilkie for the second out in the top of the 8th.
And Kyle Wilkie bounced on that one quickly. That one going off the bricks behind home plate here at McKeon Park. Wilkie chased after it quickly, took a friendly bounce right back to him. Not a lot of time to set his feet on that one either, with the runner and Collins moving quickly down the line, but Wilkie with a strong throw to the outer half of the bag to Pedro Pages, set up outside at first base for out number 2.
Oliver Dunn. Now up the last time he was up, he had that big triple. Yeah, it really kind of drawed this game into being real close. Two outs in the top of the 8th. Pitch in from Pepio. Dunn at first thought about bunting. Seth Gray ran right in, was really halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate. But quickly went back, but it is called for a strike. Pitch in from Pepio. Swing and a miss. That off-speed pitch. Oliver Dunn not able to catch up to it.
Well, Dunn's had a good day, along with a lot of the guys in this Gateman order. One of 2 hitters with 2 hits on the day, 2 RBIs, 2 runs.
Oh, pitch from Pepio. That is a foul ball, goes right behind us. right into the parking lot right next to us here at McKeon Park. Really a beautiful day today, not too humid. It's been nice weather here in Hyannis. It's been warm and a really cool down here. Pitch in from Pepio does not catch the inside part of the plate there. Wilkie tried to bring it back in.
And that's a good spot to miss with 2 strikes. Just a tad off the zone. See if he can get the hitter and done to Chase, who's had a big night so far, but couldn't quite entice him.
Pitch in from Pepio. That is a fly ball. Out to the right fielder. He's on to catch it, and he does. Pepio able to go 1-2-3. Here on the top of the 8th, the Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the 8th, hopefully for their last at bats because they want it that way. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Braden Como to lead things off in the bottom of the 8th. Westell on the mound for the Gateman. Trying to go 1-2-3 himself. Trying to just keep his deficit at 2. First pitch of the inning in for a strike. Como bending his knees. That one felt like he could have swung at that, but was not expecting a fastball. Pitches in for a strike. Como bends his knees again. Second time at bat. Infield for the Gateman playing at regular depth. Pitch into Como, and that hits him. And a leadoff hit by pitch. Hopefully we'll get the Harbor Hawks going, try to add another run.
10th free pass on the day for the Harbor Hawks. The Wareham Gatemen have now issued 7 walks and 3 hit by pitches. Braden Como reaching base for the 4th time tonight. And the Harbor Hawks have done a pretty good job so far up to this point, taking advantage of it with the 7 runs.
Dylan Thomas warming up for the Harbor Hawks. Now up is Matthew Barefoot. That first pitch outside for a ball. Runner at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. The Harbor Hawks are up 7-5. Pitch in, swing and a miss slightly by Barefoot there. Still would have been called a strike. But check swinged at that one. Como taking a small lead off at first. Nine o'clock here in Hyannis. Pitch is low, bounces past the catcher there. Had no idea where it was. Como thought about going to third, but goes back to second. That'll be awarded a pass ball. Rough day behind the dish for catcher of the Gateman, Luke Roskam.
It's just been a kind of a sloppy game defensively or just on the defensive side for the Gateman Ball Club with all the free passes, a handful of pass balls, and wild pitches. For a team that's sitting first place in the Western Division, trying to hold on to it on the road against the second place team in Hyannis.
Pitch into Matt Barefoot, grounded to the third baseman. He's unable to make a play on it. Bounces right off his glove there. And now the Gateman really just kind of kick around the ball here in the bottom of the 8th.
You know, Rob, usually they call it the broadcaster's curse, but maybe the broadcaster's blessing right there as Austin Shenton makes an error. We were just talking about the sloppy defense tonight. Second error on the night for the Gateman. He had a backhand about a step over to his left at third, hit off the heel of his glove and couldn't get the speedy barefoot at first. But as we were talking about before that pitch, for a team that's trying to hold on to first place in the Western Conference, they're not really given what would be their best effort or the best baseball we've seen them play this summer by any means.
Pedro Pages. Up. Last time he was up, he got doubled off.
And he squared the bunt on that last pitch. It was called a ball, but that's the right move here from Chad Gassman with 2 on and nobody out, 2-run lead, having a chance to put 2 guys in scoring position with less than 2 outs, and a guy like Seth Gray coming up.
Who's been very clutch so far this year. Pages sets a bunt. Goes foul. Continue what you're saying, Lyle.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Gray has been very clutch. Was clutch just this week as with that double against Bourne back on what was Monday's game in the 6-4 win. But 2 guys on, both in scoring position with 1 out if Pages can drop this bunt down. And then Seth Gray doesn't even need to come up with a clutch double, just a sacrifice fly to extend the lead and give Dylan Thomas even a little bit more cushion.
Both runners, or both basemen at third and first, converging on that. That pitch outside for a ball. Pages didn't even think about trying to put the bunt sign down.
Well, he squared up to bunt, but almost immediately after leaving West's hands, he pulled it back, seeing it was going to be way outside.
Definitely had no chance to curve back in the zone for sure. Pages will see if he tries to bunt again. Trying to move those runners over. Still nobody out. Heels back the bunt. That is called for a strike there. Pedro Pages could have done nothing with that one. If he hit it, would have gone foul. Both man at first and third for the Gateman. Defensively just converging at home plate. By the time the pitch is in, they're practically already at home plate. Not only the man at first is staying in, that will be an infield fly ball. For the shortstop for the first out, both runners at first and second. Able to stay, and Pedro Pages unable to do the job. Now Seth Gray will be up.
Well, unfortunate that Pages couldn't drop the bunt down, but you have Seth Gray up, a guy who comes into this at bat already with 2 hits on the day, along with a walk and a run scored, and is sporting a batting average of .333. And he's got some clutch factor to his repertoire for sure.
Pitch is into Seth Gray. That pitch is outside for a ball. Seth Gray with a big spot. Up 2 runs as the Harbor Hawks have somewhat of a cushion. Definitely want to widen it. As it was a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. A beautiful Sunday night for some baseball. WEI here. Local radio station in Boston and in Providence.
Yeah, you were on that today, Rob, weren't you? You were talking some Harbor Hawks
I
with
was.
them.
I talked some Harbor Hawks with them, along with doing Cape Cod Baseball League. WEI does the Red Sox and also does the Bruins. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He's unable to get it. There, that was a close play at first. But me as a broadcaster knew that was going to be safe. Seth Gray with his speed. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out. Now for being up is Tommy Jew.
Second infield single on the night for Seth Gray and 3rd hit. He's had himself a really nice night. Also an RBI to his name. And he keeps the rally going. The bases loaded. It was an interesting play from Valenzuela. He fielded right by the bag at second. He tried to get it out of his hands quickly to get Gray at first, but unable to do so.
First pitch from the pinch hitter, Tommy Jew. That pitch goes foul. So I would assume that he will take Todd Lott's spot defensively and in the order as Todd Lott's day is done. Haven't seen him for a couple of days. Dunlap played pretty well today.
Yeah, he did. He had 2 hits to his name, a 2 for 4 day. He's been hitting really well, like we've said, over the last couple of weeks for sure after that slow start he got off to. Tommy Jew off to a little bit of a slow start himself, but for a guy who hits so well and plays such a good center field for this Harbor Hawks ball club, and he hits so well at UCSB, you would think the battle click at some point.
Swing and a miss there. Tommy Jew's grandparents were here this week. I'm not sure if they were here tonight. I got a chance to talk to his grandfather prior to the game in Catuit. He was telling me how excited he was to be here and how excited his grandson is to be here. Bases are loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Trying to add a couple more runs. That is a fly ball out to right field. He'll be able to catch it, but drops it. Misplays it. 1 run will score, though. Is now 8-5. The bases are still loaded. He'll throw home, and that second run's going to score. Not paying attention was the Wareham, Gateman, and the Harbor Hawks take advantage of it. It is now 9-5.
Yeah, and these Gateman outfielders have been playing really shallow all night long, and we've seen a couple of opposite field hits both ways off the spray chart to left and right field. We've seen Goldfarb and Collins playing in, and then they try to reach back for it, and they're unable to do so. More of the same there, this time from Collins on a fly ball from Tommy Jew that got out to fairly deep right field. Turned both shoulders, tried to get a good beat on it, and just ultimately couldn't. Barefoot came around to score, along with Braden Como, who scores for the 3rd time tonight, and Tommy Jew picks up a hit.
Now up is Kyle Wilkie. Bases are still loaded. That pitch is outside. There are runners, at first and second. His 2 runs did come in to score. Fireworks are going off in the distance here. Probably firing off their last bit of fireworks they probably had for their 4th of July. That is a foul ball. Still 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Runners at first and second. Up 9-5. 2 huge runs here. And with Dylan Thomas coming out on the mound, potentially in the 9th, that could potentially seal a deal for the Harbor Hawks, but still want to get more runs. That pitch is inside low for a ball. To the catcher for the Harbor Hawks. Up next in the leadoff circle is Will Holland. Wilkie struck out the last time he was up. That's in for a strike. High outside. 9:08 is the time here at McKeon Field, or McKeon Park. Here in Hyannis, action in the Gateman bullpen. Pitches in to Wilkie. That is a strike 3 called. Got him looking for the 2nd out. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Will Holland no up.
I don't think Wilkie was too happy about that call. He gave a very, very slow walk back to the dugout, stood in the box for an extra second or 2. But for Kyle Wilkie, tough night for the Clemson catcher. Hitless so far, although he did record an RBI on a 5-4 fielder's choice and also walked.
Will Holland now up. Pitches in. That ball is outside. West still on the mound for the Gateman. Up in the batter's box is Eric Rivera. Pitches in, swing and a miss by Holland. Fireworks still going off in the distance. Now coming from a different direction. Runner still at first and second, but now 2 outs. Holland up, trying to get those runs in. Oh, pitch. That is in for a strike. A nasty pitch by West.
There's that 12-6 curveball again. Started at about Holland's left shoulder, but tailed a little bit off to the right from where we're sitting and all the way down to the knees.
Pitch from West. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 at that outside pitch by Holland. There's a couple of words for the umpire as he goes by. Just ask him if that was a strike. Definitely telling him it was not. The Harbor Hawks have a chance to go 1, 2, 3 in the ninth and finish this thing off. They're up 9-5. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
It is Dylan Thomas's time back out on the mound, trying to redeem himself after just 2 days ago, letting up a run that unfortunately tied the game and ended it in YD. He's going to try to go 1, 2, 3. Here, everyone going back to their positions. Wilkie just throwing it down the second. We're going to get ready to start here in the top of the ninth.
Well, we saw Dylan Thomas out at Red Wilson Field against the YD Red Sox, where he let up just his second earned run of the summer. But for Thomas, in total on this Cape Cod League season in 2018, 3-0, 1.58 ERA. This will be his 10th appearance on the year, thrown 11 and a third innings. Already 4 saves to his name, vying for his 5th here tonight.
Top of the order, up for the ninth for the Gateman, Jeremy Idens. As they are down by 4 runs, going to have to work quickly. But hopefully Thomas does not allow that to happen. That is a foul ball that will land right near Valenzuela. In the on deck circle. Pitches into Thomas. That bounces right off of Wilkie's glove and lands right into the backstop. But did not hit the brick, hit the netting. So bounced pretty high. That is a foul ball that will land just beyond the Gateman dugout, right behind there, right behind the storage unit here at McKeon Park, right where the batting practice batting turtle is, where they protect themselves from any foul balls, as they lose a lot of them during batting practice. Strike 3 called there, did not swing. Was Hyannis shakes his head on the way back. A frustrating night for Wareham. And that is the first out in the top of the 9th.
Thomas wasting no time against Hyannis, records his first strikeout of the night. Second strikeout of the night for Jeremy Hyannis, and a big out for Thomas to start the top of the 9th against the guy in Hyannis who, on the season, hitting .319 and has really torched the Harbor Hawks from time to time.
After the game, stay tuned as we have a post-game show with Chris Lucey. He'll fill you in on everything about tonight and then also around the league, and then talk a little about tomorrow. That is a ground ball to Braden Como. He has it. He'll throw it on to first for the second out in the top of the 9th. Thomas working very quickly. And Austin Shenton now down to their last out. And the first pitch into Thomas is called a strike. There is the check swing. He went by. We now 0-1 in the count. Pitches in from Thomas. That will hit the batter. And a 2-out hit by pitch. Thomas definitely have to settle down here, be able to get this final out.
Yeah, he does, and this Gateman lineup is obviously very stacked 1 through 9, but a 4-run lead, obviously you don't want to let guys on base, but he's got some breathing room, to say the least.
Does.
Unlike the other day, he came in against YD, he had a 1-run lead, and a walk and a double changed the course of that.
Walk card is now up. Trying not to be that final out, trying to keep this rally going for the Gateman, but Thomas trying to shut it down. That first pitch is a ball in the dirt. Unable to get that one. No pitch. That is a ball. Harbor Hawks bench thought that was a strike. Plate umpire did not think so, though. Oh, pitch. Swing and a miss. Pitch from Thomas into Lockhart. That is a strike. And the Hyannis faithful is starting to get a little excited here. They're now, well, they've already been 1 out away from winning, but now pretty much just 1 strike. No one covering the man at first. Pitches in. That is a little lazy fly ball. Head out to left field. And he'll be able to catch it there. It looked like at first that he was looking for the ball. And he catch it. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks win tonight 9-5. Good win for the Harbor Hawks, Lyle.
Absolutely, and they needed it against the Gateman in terms of points pull into a tie for first place in the Western Division. They really took advantage tonight of the Gateman pitching because there were walks and free passes and poor defense all over the place. Of course, Hyannis still left a handful of men on base tonight. In total, they left 11, but the 9 runs more than doing their job, and Gavin Hollowell, a strong start. Of course, got pulled after 4 1/3 innings, but for the most part, up until that final first part of the 5th inning when they let him back out there, he was really solid, to say the least. And then Pepio had 1 blip in the road in his outing, but him and Dylan Thomas combining to throw the final 4 2/3 innings of tonight's game and prevent the Gatemen from scoring just enough offense to come back in this one against the Harbor Hawks. 9-5 your final score. Hyannis had some insurance in the 7th and 8th with an additional 3 runs, and they just kept the foot on the gas pedal tonight. That was the key for them. Capitalizing on big opportunities has been often their biggest struggle on offense throughout the year. And again, Still a handful of guys left on base, which you don't always like to see, but the fact that they were capitalizing when they needed to most was their biggest key, and because of it, they prevailed to a win against the Gateman tonight.
They sure did. Well, that's going to do us here on the call, but stay tuned because after a break, Chris Lucey will fill you on everything on the post-game show. So long.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Back in the broadcast booth here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. Post-game coverage coming your way. I'm Chris Lucey. Robert Marcello, second half play-by-play man, joining me on the post-game show right now. A 9-5 win for the Harborhawks, jumping Hyannis into a tie for first place with the Wareham Gateman as things stand right now out in the Western Division. Both of these teams jumping up with 28 points on the campaign. And Rob, this is a huge game, or now, yes, this team jumping out with a 13-8 record on the season. 14 and Hyannis actually with a 14-8-2 record on the season now, jumping out into first place, a 2-point edge over the Wareham Gateman. Robert, this one coming down to far greater pitching for Hyannis today, allowing 5 runs, but still, Gavin Hollowell through 4 1/3 innings pitched, only 3 earned runs in probably his weakest start of the season, oddly enough. He actually did a great job setting the table for Hyannis. What did you see him do well out there today?
Well, I thought in the first 2 or 3 innings, he really commanded his pitches really well. Got in a little trouble in a couple of innings. But besides that, I actually started pretty well. Gave us a chance to win the game.
And then, of course, Ryan Pepio picking up for him after. And he's been the Gateman specialist this year. 5 2/3 innings pitched against Wareham on the campaign. He's only allowed 2 earned runs. Both of those earned runs actually coming tonight against the Gateman. And he really did a great job eating up innings for this ball club tonight. 3 2/3, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. As a reliever, he'll usually play an inning or 2, but almost going a full 4 innings there. I mean, what a performance from him. And then Dylan Thomas shutting the door again, securing the save for Hyannis, his 5th of the season. What is it about Dylan Thomas that makes him such a lethal man shutting the door?
I think he just commands his pitches really well. Definitely has a good path through the strike zone. Really being able to command his pitches is really what I see in him.
Hyannis taking this one 9-5. Robert Marcello alongside me, Chris Lucey, breaking this one down. And Robert, we'd be remiss if we didn't kind of unpack again what happened in the top of the 7th inning. I like to remind all listeners and viewers of this broadcast tonight that from 1 out in the 7th inning, the top of the 7th inning, this game was played under a protest by Wareham manager Don Sneddon, because after a third of an inning pitched by his designated hitter it was Pavin Parks, he took Parks out of the pitching spot for another reliever and then tried to reinsert Parks as the designated hitter in that designated hitter spot again, but that's not allowed by league rules. So when Sneddon brought Parks back out to home plate, he was sent back to the dugout, and Don Sneddon announced that he is protesting the game because, as was explained by one of the Wareham broadcasters, Don Sneddon thinks that says that there's a rule in the Cape League rulebook that a designated hitter that has been taken out of the game could be put back into the game for a pitcher. And that ruling that was made by the home plate umpire on Don Sneddon's disagreement will be reviewed by the league commissioner. And if the game's protest holds up, that means that this ball game has to be resumed with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning, right where Paven Parks was attempted to be put back in the pinch hitting spot. And Robert, that was just verbal gymnastics right there. I mean, have you ever seen anything really like this in your time calling all these games?
Not at any point in calling these games here down in the Cape. I've seen it a couple times, but nothing long to this extent. It was just a quick on a protest, but there was a constant talking between benches, talking between umpires. It was just kind of a big cluster. I think it really slowed down the game for like the 10, 15 minutes it went on for.
Well, I mean, no love lost between these two ball clubs. Obviously, they're fighting for first place in the Western Division, and Hyannis able to steal it away tonight with a huge win over these Wareham Gatemen. I mean, jumping out to 13-8-2 on the campaign. They are now in possession of 28 points, knotting them up with the Wareham Gatemen, a correction from earlier in the broadcast here on the postgame show, excuse me. But still, Hyannis getting the job done, putting up 9 runs, winning 9-5, leaving 11 men on base. And Rob, it didn't hurt Hyannis today, but still, Hyannis leaving a lot on the plate.
Yeah, they're still just having issues being able to drive guys in. Obviously, it was enough today with 9 runs, and that's going to be enough in a lot of games. But just kind of early in the game, just unable to score runs.
Well, still 9 coming across the plate overall for Hyannis. Headline for the Harbor Hawks, a 2-for-4 day from a new arrival in Will Hall. And the shortstop out of Auburn was exceptional for the Tigers, batting .315 for the SEC powerhouse this year. He's off to a good start out here in the Cape, and everyone is pretty excited about him. And Robert, another good development for Harbor Hawks fans, a 2-for-4 day from Todd Lott, continuing his hot streak. He's batting over 300 as well. And as the All-Star game approaches, it looks like he's more and more of a lock every day.
He really is. He just is very patient at the plate. You know, when he sees that fastball, his eyes blow up and he just smashes it. As we saw in Orleans, he had a huge home run, and he had a huge home run the other day. Just continuing to be very clutch for the Harbor Hawks.
Again, one more time, final score, Hyannis 9 and Wareham 4. The Harbor Hawks jumping back into this season series. It's now 3-2 between these two ball clubs on that season series. Only 6 games to be played between the two Western Division foes on the campaign, so only one remains. It is at Wareham later in the season. Of course, you can catch that one on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network, but we'll go around for pitchers of record and then close this baby out. Winning pitcher today, of course, Gavin Hollowell for the Harbor Hawks. The losing pitcher would be Tyler Kaiser for the Wareham Gateman, and the save pitcher going to Dylan Thomas. And that's all for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network as of now, but you can catch our post-game show Hawk Talk after this broadcast. That'll be a video post-game show. Dani Terzer will have an interview with the Harbor Hawk. I'll be hosting that, and then you can catch us on the road tomorrow for a game against the Harwich Mariners. That game getting underway at 6:30 from White House Field out in Harwich. And signing off on this broadcast on behalf of my broadcast partner, Rob Marcello, first half play-by-play man, Lyle Goldstein, and sideline reporter, Dani Terzer. I'm Chris Lucey. One more time, Hyannis 9 and Wareham 5. The Harbor Hawks are knotted at 28 points with the Gatemen for first place in the Western Division. And we will see you tomorrow right here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.